It is time for the late night boxing talks, where we gonna talk some boxing, some pressing issues, some relevant stories in the world of boxing today. This past week, I've been paying close attention to how easy it is for the propaganda peddlers to put out false information and skew people's perceptions of what are otherwise unremarkable stories. Like what's going on in the lightweight division, how Devin Haney is booked. He has to fight George for a second time. And we all know that Bob wasn't crazy about there being a rematch. I don't think any of you guys out there want to see a rematch. I don't think any of you guys out there want to see a second fight. But George is entitled to one. He's entitled to a rematch the same way that Wilder was entitled to a rematch, the same way that Anthony Joshua was entitled to a rematch. He has a rematch clause the same way that they did. And people have spun that into an entire narrative where, Vasyl Lomachenko, he chose to fight the Ortiz guy. He could have fought Devin he couldn't have fought Devin. What are you talking about? Before Devin even set foot in the ring with George, everybody knew that George has a two-way rematch clause. That's the only way that Devin gets the fight. Here on this channel, I talked about how, the deal that Devin accepted, it's not a great deal because even if he wins, he has to go back to Australia, and that was way before he actually fought George. But there are content creators, I'm sure you're all aware, that they regularly lie to their subscribers. They propagate a lot of narratives, and it's not hard to see why. You can always tell why the content creators are lying. They're doing it for clickbait. They're doing it for money. It's why people accept these lies that I find mind-boggling, because they have access to the information themselves. They can look up the information themselves, and they choose not to. And if you present said information to them, they'll actually try to argue with you about it. Like, yo, dog, it's not my fucking fault that you've been lied to all this time. You've been getting your information from a fucking liar. It's insane that there are all these different boxing markets. There's a UK market, a Canada market, a Mexico market, and just a South American market overall. There's a Russian market, an Eastern European market. But you don't see this in any of those other markets. You don't see this. You don't see clickbait channels in these other markets, outside of, what's that guy's name? Tszyu Booth. And it's not even clickbait. It's just that the guy's funny and he says a lot of mean things about a lot of people. But you can't even really call it clickbait. Only in America do you see this proliferation of clickbait channels that spread false information. That's essentially their racket. Their racket is literally lying to people and omitting information, because one of the subscribers here, he tagged me to an Aki TV video, right? And in the video, the chopped cheese kid, because that's what the fuck he is. He's a chopped cheese kid. You would give me too loose in a chopped cheese sandwich type of dude. You got a hood pass from Dante, and you doing the same shit that Dante been doing basically, which is lying to people. He tagged me to the video, and the video was basically propagating a narrative where Vasyl Lomachenko tried to get out of a Devin Haney fight by fighting Ortiz, when Devin Haney doesn't have the luxury of choice. Devin Haney doesn't have a choice. He has to fight George or he gets sued. Forget the belts, forget being stripped, because it's not the alphabets ordering a rematch. It's the contract he signed. He has to fight him again. And I saw a lot of people in the comments, and I showed them that the fight between George and Devin is already booked. It's already registered on BoxRec for the 16th. The 15th in Australia, I believe, and the 16th here in America because of the time difference. And you know what Aki did? Aki literally deleted all of those comments. Literally. He went through his comments to delete reality, to delete the truth. They're like, yo, dog, why are you telling people that Devin could have fought Loma or that Loma could have fought Devin when no, he can't, fam? He is under contract. He has to fight George again. And you got maybe 14,000 or 20,000 people that'll watch a video like that, consume it, and walk away thinking, oh, yeah, Loma's ducking Devin because he could have fought him, not realizing Devin don't have a choice, fam. It's not for you to blame Devin. It's not for you to blame Loma. It's just reality. Devin has to fight George again. There is no way around that. That's why I said in the beginning that the deal and the contract that he signed, well, wasn't really a great contract, because even if you go over there and you win, you have to go back. You essentially have to beat him 2 times, for those that saw that video. Hey, what's goody, Joey, Chaz, Deb, Oz, Buried Rhymes, Kevin Fuentes, Data Ender. You know, that's essentially their racket, though. And it's like I said, it doesn't surprise me that there are content creators that are willing to lie for money, that they're essentially clickbait artists. That doesn't surprise me because of the amount of metrics, the amount of views you could get with a sensationalistic headline. That doesn't surprise me because we see that in the real world with the Sun and the National Enquirer and the Daily Mirror. There have always been clickbait artists and shock jocks. That doesn't surprise me. What surprises me is the amount of people that ingest misinformation greatly dwarfs the amount of people that take in real information. That's what surprises me. They're just like, yo, damn, it really is a lot of stupid motherfuckers out there, because all you had to do was go to BoxRec the last 3-4 weeks to see this is bullshit. Devin is already booked. He been booked. You didn't even have to go to BoxRec the last 3 or 4 weeks to know that, but if you did, you would have saw. Devin's next fight is already there. So this whole Lomachenko conversation you trying to have is just a lot of bullshit. And you get away with it because you do shit like what I just described. If somebody posts a bit of information in the comments of an Aki TV video, he will literally delete the information. He will omit the information because he doesn't want his subscribers to know that Devin wasn't available for Loma to fight him. The shit you saying in your video is bullshit. Unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do about that. There's not a lot anyone can do about that, to be completely honest, because they're just going to delete your comments. They're never going to leave their hyperbole chamber, their hyperbolic chamber of solitude alive right on time after Espinoza's weak rebuttal on Twitter. Jules, the Capricorn alignment is real. Yeah, man, like, there's not a lot you could do about it, you know? That there really isn't. Like, the most you can do is make a channel and tell the truth on your channel, and that's about it. But in the American market, there seems to be a greater market of individuals who want to be lied to than individuals who are ready to deal with the truth. That Devin's not ducking Loma, and Loma's not ducking Devin. Devin is booked. That's all. And we knew that before he even beat George. I knew that before he even beat George. He beats him once, he's going to have to beat him again in Australia. That was the story. But these 8th grade level motherfuckers, they don't read at a 9th grade level, so they're not going to read a 2-minute article where you can find that out for yourself. You don't need to find it out from me or Aki TV, who's going to lie. You don't need to find it out from us. You can go look it up yourself. Devin was already booked from the moment he beat George. He was already booked. There's going to be a second fight. Now, what Drew is talking about, Drew asked Stephan Espinoza, how come wealthy Saudi Arabian investors never attempted to purchase the rights for any of their PBC fighters? And Stephan Espinoza, he sort of deflected with the answer that he gave. He responded by saying that, when are people going to learn that the networks don't decide which fights happen? And that's not addressing what you were asked. That you weren't asked if the network decides which fights happen and which fights don't happen, even though what he said was a lie true, too. What he said was a lie. Like, yeah, the networks have a hand in what fights happen and what fights don't, because the money comes from the network. So he was lying about that, which is besides the point, because he didn't answer the question. If your premier boxing champions are premier champions, how come the Saudis don't subsidize any of your fights? How come the Saudis are not trying to subsidize Crawford versus Spence, for example, to where they'll use their own money to buy the rights from you so that we can get that fight? You make your money, the fighters make their money, the Saudis get the rights to the fight and then flip them to a network, maybe a DAZN, maybe a ESPN, maybe a Showtime. Not really. I mean, that'd be pretty weird, but just whatever. And that's the question that Drew asked. That if these guys are stars, essentially, the way you say they're stars, how come they don't attract wealthy Saudi Arabian investors the way that Anthony Joshua does? How come? Like, what's the problem? And it's obvious. It's because we talk about it here all the time. It's like beating a dead horse almost, that those guys don't have big followings. They're not they're not household names. They're not big stars in their own country. None of them are. And that's the reason that Saudi Arabian investors aren't putting in big cash for those fights. That's why they don't want them. They don't think it's worth it. How is George a draw then? Cam is a big star, Joey? Hey, listen, bro. George Kambosos, fighting for Undisputed, drew 41,000 Australians at the Marvel Stadium in Australia. That's just a fact. Am I saying he's a big draw? No. But he drew something, bro. He drew something. He got $10 million up front in his last fight. So, I mean, you tell me, bro. How'd that happen? What you think? Those was all Devin Haney fans that showed up? My last tweet to you, Jules, debunked Espinoza's answer. Let me see what it says. Now, the network has no say, according to Espinoza, yet his parents' majority stakeholder is Berkshire, who have relationships with Saudis. So calls up the ladder can't be made since Saudi are looking to spend money on boxing, or is it too much work? Put simply, there's a lack of interest. There's a lack of interest in those fighters, bro. You think Saudi Arabians give a fuck about Jermall Charlo? No. At a doctor's appointment, so I'll probably miss this panel tonight. Wanted to mention about AJ. People think he's chinny, but he's not. His weak spot is his temple. If Usyk lands the right shot there, he's going out. Yeah, man. Great fight this weekend. Anything could happen. Usyk could get a knockout. AJ could get a knockout. Anything could happen. But when it comes to just that whole Stephen Espinoza thing, it's simple, fam. You talk about the DAZN platform as if nobody's watching it, as if it only gets a limited number of viewers. But your Showtime platform has no superstars. There's no superstars. There's no fighters on that platform that wealthy Saudi Arabian investors that wipe their ass with millions of dollars. There are no fighters on your platform that you have groomed and developed to be big stars and big attractions. We would say Wilder, but Wilder's over there at Fox. And he's been over there since 2019. You don't have him. You know what I mean? Spence, you did Spence's last fight, didn't you? Wasn't Spence's last fight on Showtime? Wherever it was, it didn't do shit. Wherever it was, Spence versus Ugas didn't draw shit. Didn't draw flies to shit. Would still love to see AJ versus Wilder after both these boxers' next fight, win or lose. Yeah, but I'm not holding my breath for that. Like, I still see people talking about that. And I don't know, maybe I just lost patience with that situation myself. Because I'm like, bro, they not going to fight. You know why they not going to fight? Because Wilder will never accept that he's the B-side to Anthony Joshua. He's never going to accept that. And to do the fight, you have to accept that you're the B-side. You have to accept that this guy draws more than you, so they're not going to give you whatever he get. You know, you got to accept that. And when you were unbeaten champions, you didn't want to accept that. You know, even though you really weren't getting what he's getting, you didn't want to accept that then. So here and now, whatever happens on Saturday, do I expect that to change? No, I don't expect that to change because it's some kind of just weird shit that he has going on. If you like your chances against this guy, right, take the B-side, be the B-side for the first fight so you could be the A-side in the second fight. Simple. If you like your chances. If you believe that you could go in there and knock him out, negotiate it to where, look, I'll be the B-side. I'll be that. But the next, if I win, I got to get more bread in the next fight. Because what comes after that, what comes after all of that is all the bread. But I've always maintained the way that they treated that situation, they treated it as if they didn't like Wilder's chances. That's how they treated it. When all you got to do is get in there, do what you normally do, knock a motherfucker out, and that's it. The way they did it, they was treating that shit as if it was the retirement fight, as if there was nothing on the other side of the fight. That's how they negotiated that shit. Jules, why does Benavidez, I don't think, Joey, I don't think he has the autonomy to leave because he tried. 3 years ago, we talk about it, we bring it up a couple of times regularly here on the channel, that about 3 years ago, David Benavidez received a cash advance from Top Rank. They gave him like a couple $100,000, and he was trying to leave. And the PBC pulled him back, and he had to give the cash advance back to Top Rank. He did try to leave, and they pulled him back. So looking at that, what that tells me is he doesn't have the liberty to leave. He doesn't have the autonomy to say, look, I'm done here, and I'm going to go somewhere else. I don't think he has the autonomy to do that. Leighton Evelyn, shout out to Leighton. Funny how Wilder is talking on a yeah, I always notice that shit too, bro. And it irritates me because it's like people don't want to know. Like, yo, why you always wait till this dude is fighting so you could drop your news? You a parasite, fam. You like a barnacle. You gotta wait till AJ doing something for you to try to get attention. Fury the same way. You gotta wait till AJ doing something to announce your news. This shit is so irritating. Like, fam, if you was really for real a star, you wouldn't have to do sucker shit like that. Cause that's some sucker shit, bro. Yeah, I remember that. 50-50, it ain't about the belt. I remember all of that. That's why I don't have patience for the subject anymore. And I look at people like whenever somebody brings up AJ versus Wilder, given the way all of that played out, I'll look at a person like, yo, I don't know. Did you miss the last 3-4 years of boxing? Did you miss that? $100 million was not enough to get Wilder in the ring with Anthony Joshua. They offered him $20 million for Dominic Brazil, just that fight. Dominic Brazil, and he didn't bite. So what makes you think that something changed? Nothing changed. He's still over there, and AJ's still over there, and it's going to be what it's going to be. I think they both going to weigh around 230, 237. Yeah, like I don't, there's not a lot else that I could say about Joshua and Wilder that hasn't already been said. The hindrances have not changed. The obstacles have not changed. So if nothing changed, what makes you think the fight is more feasible now? Why? Because they lost? Yeah, but the platform issues is the same. Wilder not going to the zone, fam. And AJ just signed the contract a couple of months ago that says he will box exclusively on the zone. So how do you see the fight getting made in a situation like that? How? You could say joint pay-per-view, right? But the pot has to be big enough. And even if the zone is receptive to that, Showtime is not. They don't want to split the pot with nobody. So, and not that Wilder's even on Showtime. Wilder next fight on Fox. I don't know if Fox is going to stay in boxing after this year. I don't even know. Wilder's saying he gonna fight 3 times a year. All right. Motherfuckers say a lot of shit over there, and a lot of that shit don't happen. You know what I mean? So it's craziness. But just back to my original topic, just what I started off with before I open up the chat to the panel. It's just amazing that only in the American market is there actually a market for people who want to be lied to, literally, that they don't want to read anything. They don't want to research anything. They don't want you showing them research. They want to be lied to. And only in the American boxing scene does this market exist, because I don't see any Canadian-based channels. I don't see any UK-based channels. I don't see any Eastern European channels or German channels, and I'm fluent in all these languages. I don't see any channels like that do what these American-based channels do, and that is literally lie every day about stories. That's all they do. All they do is lie. Shout out to AJ. Joshua versus Wilder ain't happening, period. That's how I feel about that shit, yo. That's how I feel about that shit. I'm like, if anybody waiting for Wilder versus AJ, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, bro. You haven't seen enough to realize that shit, That shit, man. Maybe that's what fuels it, Ivo. American xenophobia. That because there's a lot of xenophobia in this country, a lot of people are very tribal and very territorial, that opens up a lane for channels like that that can prey on that tribalism and that xenophobia and turn over a profit by saying shit that ain't even real, saying shit that ain't even true. Listen, you don't have to like Vasyl Lomachenko. You don't have to like Devin Haney. The facts still are what the facts are. Devin is booked. Loma don't have the option of fighting Devin because Devin is booked. That shit is not a new story. It was already said. The deal he accepted for George would have required him to go to Australia 2 times and beat George 2 times. That is the deal that he accepted. I'm going to be real with you, country. I like Tszyu. I think he's promising, but I don't think having Costia in the corner is really going to make a difference. He does not have the base style for that fight. He does not have the experience for that fight. The only out that he has is that perhaps a year from now, well, next year in January, that I don't know, maybe making 154 will be difficult for Jermell. That's the only out that he has because Jermell has more experience than he does, probably has more power than he does. He certainly fought better fighters than Tim has. That's not a knock on Tim. I like Tim, but next to Jermell, he's a novice. So having Costia in the corner, I don't really think that shit gonna make the least bit of difference unless Costia gonna hit Jermell with a chair. I don't think that shit gonna matter. You could fucking get Costia Tszyu, Nikita Tszyu, Zoolander. You know what I mean? You can get everybody in the corner, bro. It ain't gonna make the least bit of difference. In my opinion, he wants too much too soon, and he gonna pay for it. Laron was good. Efren Benitez, que lo que, manín? I think Anthony Durrell sucks more, which is why I think Caleb has a slight edge, but Caleb does suck too. Antonio Mosley, que lo que, manín? Fish was good. Gothic was good. High King of the Midwest was good. And yeah, man, we motherfucking out here, bro. We motherfucking out here in this bitch. Yo, for real, Chris, he going like the only difference having Costia in the corner could make is if Costia going to shoot Jermell between the rounds. If he shoot him or he spike his drink or some shit, yeah, then maybe. Other than that, I don't think that shit going to make no difference. I think that what he should have did was amass experience because experience is invaluable. You don't have the right experience for this fight. You have not fought enough people to be experienced enough for this fight. You haven't. And you're not so big a puncher that you just gonna go in there with Jermell and punch his fucking head off. Nah, bro. You got the right experience for that fight, bro. Motherfucking Anthony Durrell versus Caleb Plant is not a good chief support. Not to me, it's not. Like a rebound fight should not be the co-main event because the main event is already a rebound fight. You should have put something on there like Thurman versus Stanionis or some shit, or Boots versus Stanionis, or Boots versus Thurman, because it ain't like you got to pay Boots a whole lot of money. And if Thurman want a whole lot of money, you better kick a fucking rock. You better. Like, it's time for you to earn your bread, bro. You got to earn your seat at the table again. You ain't just going to be out here getting 7-figure paydays for no reason. We'll give you $750,000 for Jaron Ennis, and we'll give Jaron Ennis $500,000. And tell you what, bro, if you don't like that shit, take your shoe off, go to the park, and kick a fucking rock. Because what the fuck you think we running here? This shit is a business. Shit is a motherfucking business. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. I'm going to open up the chat to the panel in a few. Plant versus Durrell. I thought you was going to ask who wins. Who the fuck? Real shit, yo. DL says, do you think Tszyu can out-muscle him and wear him out and maybe finish him late? No, because Tszyu's base style, right? It lives between a boxer puncher and a pressure fighter. He's in between, right? He's not going to be a better boxer puncher than Jermell because Jermell is more experienced. And if he tries to crowd him, get mid-range to inside, well, that's what Brian Castaño just tried to do. And Brian Castaño is more experienced than Tim Tszyu. So that's why I say that, like, yo, he really didn't need that fight right now, but that's the fight that he wants. So if he try to pressure him, you know, get mid-range to inside, crowd him, try to outwork him, bro, he going to pick you off. The same way he picked off Brian, that's the same thing he going to do to you, but it's going to be worse with you because you're not as experienced as Brian. Brian at least fought Patrick Teixeira. He at least fought Lara. He at least fought Sergio Garcia. I mean, not Sergio Garcia. Didn't he fight? No, not Sergio Garcia. He fought Michael Sorrow. I got Darrell for the upset. I don't even know, bro. Like, I might not do a prediction video for that fight because I just don't care about that fight. I don't want to do a prediction video for a fight I don't care about and then I get it wrong because I didn't do the research because I didn't fucking care. Like, I don't give a shit about that fight, man. Shit, I'm not going to put up with that shit, man. Charlo versus, yeah, it'll be exciting, but I do feel that you have to give Charlo the edge. You just have to, bro. This you have to give him the edge, bro. You have to. Especially the way he just made the right adjustments for Castaño, right? It's like, fam, like, Tim gonna be out of his depth with that dude, and I like Tim, but he gonna be out of his depth. Like, remember, you got knocked down by Terrell Gausha. What you think would happen if Charlo hit you like that? I do think Charlo stops him, Lori. I do. I do. Like I said, I think he's taking this fight too soon. The same way that Erickson Lubin a couple of years ago, he took the fight too soon. You know, he was the mandatory, but he didn't need that fight right then and there. Like, nah, you don't need this right now. You need experience, bro. You don't need this fight. You should have just let Murtazaliev go in there and fight this motherfucker, and you go in there with Beefy or somebody or Kurbanov because you need rounds and you need experience. You really ain't been deep yet, in deep waters yet. But it is what it is, man. Maybe they know something I don't. I don't know. I'm surprised Darrell is still fighting. Who knows why they keep bringing out these fighters? We will probably see Gamboa host a seat. Yo, for real, B. Look, they wheeling out Abner Mares, bro. That says it all. That man ain't fought in 2-3 years. They wheeling him out. For Ruiz versus motherfucking Ortiz. That shit don't even make sense. The fuck you wheeling out Abner Mares for, bro? Be honest. Who you got? Usyk? I'm gonna tell y'all tomorrow, bro. I've been waiting to do my thing on that. Like, I ain't on the fence, feel me? I'm just gonna do a video on all them fights tomorrow. That's what that is. I ain't on the fence though. You know what I mean? Ain't no hoes out here, bro. I don't ride the fence. It's rare that I can't make up my mind and make a decision. You know what I mean? But if you got Usyk, well, I can't fucking blame you, bro. One, he beat him before, right? He beat him before. Two, he's a Capricorn, bro. He a Capricorn. I've been telling y'all, Capricorns is not to be fucked with, bro. I've been trying to tell y'all, Rafa, que lo que, manín? La Rafa. La Rafa. La Rafa. La Rafa. La misma Rafa. I forgot the rest of the words. Spanish-speaking people will know what song that is. It's not actually La Rafa. It's La Vaca. La Vaca. La Vaca. Trislava Ukraine. That's how you say Ukraine in Ukrainian. You don't say Ukraine. It's not you. Their vowels are pronounced the same as ours in Spanish. It's Ukraine. Mamagüevo coño. Wouldn't it be a hoot if Tim made Charlo do the, yo, that would be crazy, bro. I ain't even going front. That would be nuts. If he could do to Charlo what his daddy did to Zab Judah, that would be crazy, bro. La vaca, la vaca, la vaca, la misma vaca. Why have the judges and referee details not been released yet? Because we trying to rob motherfuckers out here, bro. That's why. The fuck? Better act like you know. This boxing. We all crooked out here, bro. You crooked, I'm crooked. Everybody in the comment section is crooked, bro. All these motherfuckers sell drugs. All of them. Got lo que manín. And yeah, man, I'm going to open up the chat to the panel, and I'm going to need some parliamentary procedure. I don't want 2, 3, 4, 5 people trying to talk, tell a joke at the same time. So y'all give each other a chance to talk. You know what I mean? Who on the undercard this weekend? We got my man Callum Smith. He's taking on French Olympian medalist Mathieu Bauderlique. I do have Callum Smith stopping Mathieu, who has been stopped at least once before. We got Zhilei Zhang versus Filip Hrgovic. I got Hrgovic in that fight. Zhilei Zhang, he's probably dangerous for the first 2 to 3 rounds, but he's an old guy. He's an old guy, and he's going to be slower than most other heavyweights. Maybe he'll show a little glimmer of something in the beginning, but Hrgovic by knockout is the logical choice, bro. If you saw Zhang versus Jerry Forrest, you already know, bro. We got, I don't know who that is. We got Drew in the building, Leo in the building, my man Michael in the building. Alexander, I don't know who that is.
Hey, remember,
it's Chris. It's Chris. It is Chris. How you doing?
Hey. Profile photo. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Stefan is deflecting because, look, at the end of the day, he's not going to answer a question like that with a real answer because he knows how it reflects on him that for all the stupid shit you say about the zone, Saudis don't want your fighters. You wish they wanted your fighters because if they did, they could help you with the costs of Crawford versus Spence. You fucking wish they gave a flying fuck with a fucking dick on it about Jermall Charlo. Nobody cares, bro. Outside of a couple of dweebs on Twitter, no one fucking cares about Jermall Charlo. No one.
We got a funny response to that on Twitter, Jules, where someone said, Stefan, make up your mind. Are you a network executive or a boxing promoter? Because you switch, it seems, every week. So which one is it?
He switches seamlessly. Yo, Jules, what you were saying about the Saudis in reference to PBC fighters and Showtime. Yeah, the Saudis see what we see. They see American market is in disarray. They see guys that don't really care about the sport, and they see in Eddie Hearn a guy that's went into different markets from a place that he's not from and be very successful.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a draw, right, in your own country, why the fuck would you be a draw to the Saudis? You're not a draw in your own country. You know, like they act like it's the weirdest thing, and I've noticed it the last 4 years. They don't want to acknowledge what Anthony Joshua did in the UK boxing scene, right? And they really don't want to acknowledge that all this money and all this attention that has very recently come into that division, no, it wasn't because of Wilder. No, it wasn't. The only reason motherfuckers started talking about Wilder was because people was talking about AJ. It wasn't because of Fury either. When he beat Vladimir, people were complaining how awful the fucking fight was. So
it was boring.
Because it was boring. You didn't bring money to this division, bro. And on top of that, your fight was awful, right? And you retired for 2 years. So you ain't the reason this division ended up getting a lot of money. The centerpiece of the heavyweight division, losses and everything for the last 3 or 4 years, yeah, it was AJ, not y'all. All the attention that he got and how y'all rode that wave to try to get attention yourself because Wilder was already around before AJ for years. He wasn't getting no attention. So was Fury.
For 5 years, actually. Because AJ started.
These motherfuckers didn't just all of a sudden pop up in 2018. They've been here, but nobody was talking about them.
Who actively talked about Fury versus fucking Klitschko, bro?
Yo, I was
Nobody.
probably one of the only ones, my guy, and that video is still up on this channel.
Bro,
That's a
that first fight, even though Fury won, that fight was fucking ugly to look at.
And nobody
it
went
was
to
this.
that fight. Nobody went to that fight for Fury. That was all.
Go Jules. Go
That was
Jules. Go Jules.
That's the
Nigga's
fight,
crazy.
bro. I swear to God, go back and all you gonna see is arms with hair on them.
Hey, I hope
You a
Jules
sick nigga, Jules.
I hope Jules cuts that up and puts gypsy music for when he puts it on Twitter.
And then the dude that he brought out for the third fight with the eyeliner, that's what he was. Why you think he was doing that? He was reliving the Klitschko fight. Remember when he was doing that? The dude with the eyeliner, that's the Klitschko fight he was doing. That's what that was.
Yeah, that was
Really
a horrible fight.
That was crazy. Julius, you were moving so fast. You were actually losing frames in that moment.
I'm sorry. I used my alien powers. I'm sorry.
Oh, so that's where Bruce Lee.
I said, I'm sorry, it's hilarious. You a sick
I
nigga,
didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, bro. George says Jared Anderson needs to step up, maybe Yoka or Dubois. No, he doesn't. Not yet. Y'all don't rush my man. Leave my man alone, B.
I ain't gonna hold you. I think Jared can beat Tony Yoka, bro.
So do I, but it's not time for a step up.
Let Carl Moretti do his job.
Do me a favor. Go look up how many fights Jared got, please. Somebody.
He's still
Jared
new.
has like 14 fights. I feel you. Jules, Alexander ER is Chris, bro. I know what I'm talking about. I feel you. I'm just saying, like,
11 total fights, huh?
but the thing is with me, Jules, like, people do get fast tracked when you see a level of skill. So I see a level of skill there. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I'll see any American heavyweight fucking with Jared Anderson at all.
None.
At all.
Not
Like, I mean,
Cassius
at all.
Chaney, not Cassius Chaney. Because it's one or two unbeaten guys still out there. Is Jermaine Franklin still unbeaten?
I don't know who the fuck that nigga is.
Who the fuck is?
I don't know who that is.
I just trust the process though of Carl, Top Rank, and Bruce Trampler. They're gonna get Jared the rounds he needs to get into. When they start stepping him up, he starts putting these motherfuckers away spectacularly to create the buzz.
Jared Anderson,
but he got the skills to do that.
That's my shit. I might watch that later. And yeah, man. You know, I'm just sick of dumb shit. I think that's what this week has been for me, which is why I was a little bit less active on Twitter. I'm like, yo, dog, I can't believe that there's actually a market in my country of people that want to be lied to. That you could take a story as simple as Haney-Kambosos and turn that into like, yo, Fit, there's no villains in this story. Devin's not the bad guy. He's booked. There's nothing he can do. Loma's not the bad guy. He just fucking got away from the Ukraine. They just gave him the permission. Like, yeah, you could go, bro. Go ahead, do your thing. There's no bad guys in the story. But
Jules, you can't fix stupid, man. I swear, I got into this conversation with a dumbass.
Say that in Ukraine, please.
Ты не можешь изменять розум тупака. You can't change the brain of someone who is mentally retarded, bro. You can't.
Say it again, but slower.
Ты не можешь изменять розум тупака.
Teach me how to say you are stupid in Ukrainian.
Te, you, say te.
Te,
yeah.
te, yeah.
Yeah.
Te, yeah.
Mokohon.
Say it again.
Mokohon.
Mocojon.
Yeah.
Oh, like in español.
Mojón.
Mocojoso, coño.
Mojón. Yo, Jules is a
Don't
sick
start.
dude,
Don't
bro. Like,
you teach Jules Ukrainian. I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be Ukrainian women all
Hey,
over
bro.
me like you.
Bro, the moment that this AJ versus Usyk fight, no matter how it goes, man, I'm gonna start singing the goddamn Ukrainian national anthem on goddamn live, bro.
Well,
I don't
look,
care how it goes.
Look, the real shit about it is this, right? I am torn because I've always liked Usyk as a fighter, right? I've always liked this. The guy's great. Like, he's all the things that are good about boxing that make you want to come back and watch, just from a competitive standpoint, yeah, that I watch because of guys like that, among others, not just him. And it's like, I also know that if he wins, the money that has been poured into the heavyweight division, it is going to dry up. It is. Because he's not the draw that Anthony Joshua is. Wilder's not going to want that guy, bro. He's not going to want that guy. You know,
I feel like,
good.
I just want to say this, man. Like, I understand that his style is not like must-see TV. It's very textbook. You know, it's very like for hardcore consumption. But if more people knew who Usyk was, I feel like he'd be even more likable, and I feel like there would be even more attention.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a boring style though. Like, you can't say that his fights have lulls where nothing is happening.
No, he's constantly on the move. But I don't see how people haven't like warmed up to him yet. Like I keep hearing that. Okay, the
He's
money's
Eastern
gonna drop.
European, bro.
Bro,
Yeah, I understand that.
Here's
But-
the thing. It's strictly just the language barrier. If you look at Usyk's commercial endorsements in Ukraine, the motherfucker is hilarious. He's
Bro,
got
he is
charisma.
He is
He's
a clown.
retarded, bro.
Bro, he
I
is
gotta
a
watch.
clown.
He's got everything you want in a performer and charisma. You slap an American flag on him and he did all this, bro, he'd be bigger than LeBron here.
But let's be honest, America, just as a whole, right? Depending on who we're talking about, because, you know, they did gravitate towards Manny, and he's a foreigner. They did gravitate towards him, though, and he's a foreigner. Gennady Golovkin's, they liked Gennady for a while. I think a lot of people are kind of just over it with him. But there was a while where, you know, there was like a hard push in American circles for that guy. It really depends. I think the bane for Usyk was that he was at a weight where there were no real other Americans, you know, like Fury popped a little bit, right? Why? Because he beat an American that the Americans knew. Whereas at cruiserweight, he beat great guys, Usyk, but they weren't really Americans, so the Americans didn't care. Like, oh, he beat Joe Blow from Latvia. He beat Tommy.
If they would have put Andrew Zapiti against Alexander Usyk, you think what Dorticos did to him would have been a lot worse and it would have been a lot more sustained. I know Dorticos punched harder pound for pound than Usyk, but it would have been an ass beating.
But it would have registered on the radar because, you know, Tabiti was a TMT fighter, and there were, you know, like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, I didn't drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. I was expecting him to do much better against Dorticos than he did. That shit was embarrassing. That is one of those.
He didn't do that bad. This Dorticos just was
terrible.
And also the thing where I think we forget about Usyk, unlike Manny and Triple G, the reason they got some buzz here, they strictly just started fighting here full time.
That's true.
And their styles too, Drew. Their styles
not just the styles though. They were Usyk's the quintessential road warrior. I don't give a fuck where the fight is. I'm gonna fuck you up, and that's it.
Yeah, but where do you think Usyk will base himself if you do win? Because he's either gonna have to fight in Europe or America, didn't he?
Nah, I mean, I think if he wins this weekend, and, you know, Tyson Fury doesn't retire, he'll go to Top Rank. Egas will bring him over to Top Rank.
But that fight will be in Europe, though, right, Jules?
Vegas.
Fury can come over here.
Oh, right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn, dog, that's a good question.
There's gonna be Sweet Caroline. That's what we're gonna be hearing.
Or Anthony Olufemi Joshua, please.
Well, how long
Please,
is that
dude.
ban though? Like, is he banned for life?
We'll see. Let me just ask you this, Jules. You're the Saudis. Depending on whoever the winner is, don't you want undisputed there again?
Maybe.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Maybe.
Yo, bro, that's a lot of bread, bro. That's a lot of bread, Jules.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm just looking at what they have done so far, right? If they really fuck with Tyson Fury hair sack, right? Why they never put in no bid for no fight that you was in? None of them Wilder shits. They didn't care about none of that shit, bro. They didn't care. That's all I'm saying. That, like, if they really fuck with old boy like that, why they never pick none of your fights, bro? Only when you was with the WWE, and they was already fucking with them. They already had a deal with them to bring WWE shows to Saudi.
Yeah,
so that wasn't even really you. That was just that shit.
Yeah.
That's Vince.
That was the end of Vince McMahon.
Vince
Terrible what happened to him.
2 years now.
Fuck him.
I don't
I
know.
just wanna-
I just don't know if they fuck with him like that. That's all I'm saying. Maybe they'll fuck with Usyk like that. I don't know.
Listen, man, if Joshua doesn't win the belts again, man, you know who I'm gonna blame for that Fury versus AJ not happening? The arbitrator. The arbitrator.
Yeah.
No, but at the end of the day, the arbitrator probably wanted to see an American heavyweight fight. You know, a British guy.
It goes back.
Is
He's
it
a fuck boy.
It goes back to what Jules was saying the whole time. These dudes never wanted to fight because they didn't want Eddie in control. They didn't want Eddie dominating the American market with his heavyweight, his checkbook, and they wanted to ride the wave.
Because it would have been a monopoly. They would have left.
The implication, right? Not saying that he would have beat Fury, because we're talking like he would have beat Fury. All I'm saying is, had he beat Fury, you know what that does to the division? It funnels every single heavyweight to DAZN. If all the belts are in one place, right? That funnels all the action to one platform. So that is why I believe clandestinely, these alphabet organizations, they've been like, we'll help you. We'll help you, PBC. We'll help you, Top Rank.
Then Blavatnik would have to cut him a check he can't refuse.
Yeah.
And,
The reason
the
real reason that they're so averse to that is, just imagine, just use your imagination station. Let's just imagine that AJ had all the belts. Who's gonna A-side AJ with all the belts? Who?
Hellenius.
No one.
And that's just
So if your fighter, if you're Joe Joyce, if you're Daniel Dubois, if you're Arslanbek Makhmudov, if you're Jalalov, whoever the fuck you got, they got to fight on DAZN. They have
20%.
and that just proves, Jules, that still, not in America, but around the world, the heavyweight championship still moves the entire sport.
Mm-hmm. It does. You know what they say? You know the old saying, when the heavyweight division is thriving, boxing is thriving. Because look, that, I know that commercially, Mayweather versus Pacquiao was the biggest fight in boxing so far in terms of what it grossed. But even that fight doesn't have the feel of a big heavyweight fight. Like, there's just something about a heavyweight fight, bro. It's like the gods is fighting or some shit.
Yo, Jules, think about it like this.
The heavyweight throne still commands respect all over the world. It stops the world when it's two heavyweights like, whoa, these dudes are going to fight. And that's why this Saturday, nobody win. We all win. The fans win. I don't care.
No, we don't. Like, you got to be real.
No, I'm talking about in terms of not the ramifications.
I just mean the repercussions moving forward.
Yo, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking specifically on why we watch the sport is for fights like this.
Oh yeah, and it would be nice. Like, if Usyk wins, I'm happy for him. But I know what it means moving forward also. Like, I know what it means. Like, look, Vlad was unappreciated, and they really, it's like, it honest to God, it irritates the shit out of me that you can have a fucking hype job like Wilder that everything got to be just so. Vlad fought everybody that wanted it. Bro, you want it, you fucking got it, bro. The only dude he ain't fight was his brother. And y'all talk him down. He reigned as a champion for 9 years. You here sucking dick because Wilder reigned for what? A little over 4? Fucking bitch.
Hey, Jules, you know what?
Jules, you gotta chill, man. You gotta chill.
I hate that shit,
yo, bro, I hate it too, but like, we gotta keep it a buck, man. Like, when Vladimir Klitschko was, exciting and he wasn't fighting, the style he was fighting, he did get some burn on HBO, bro. Like, prior to the Corey Sanders fight, people failed to realize Vladimir Klitschko was really fucking niggas up horrendously bad. Like, people don't understand. He was really doing people bad. And after the Corey Sanders fight, and when he started fighting under Manny Stewart, people just started to hate on him because of the style. But you're right, man. That dude was giving it to everybody. Sure, did I like what he did against Povetkin? He should have lost his titles there. But it is what it is. But that's one fight. For 9 years, that dude was whooping people's ass, bro. Effortlessly, too. Like, people wanted David Haye to win. What happened? Oh, I stubbed my toe. Okay, cool. Take this 12-round unanimous decision loss with you. And everybody that they thought got a chance got their ass beat. And it's corny because America is very tribal, like you said. It's xenophobic. And they America has this. Hey, our great athletes don't want to get punched in their face. They probably want to play football or basketball. They don't have the same killer instinct like they once had.
No, they don't. Rotisserie Ramirez is about to take on Rotisserie is about to take on Jesse Magdaleno in a step-up fight in October. What is your take on the fight? Do you believe Rotisserie will have a great career? I am picking Rotisserie to win that fight. I finally think he's transitioned well enough from an amateur style to a pro style. I saw his last fight. I like what I saw, and I am going with Rotisserie to win. Jesse, how old is Jesse Magdaleno now, bro?
I don't know.
Has Jesse ever won a title? Yeah, he did.
No,
he did have a title.
Jesse Magdaleno had a title. He did
yeah,
have a title.
He did. Isaac Neho Braveson beat him. What's his last name?
Yeah, Dogbay beat him.
Dogbay beat
won a
him.
WBO from fucking back when Jesse Magdaleno had the platinum hair. You remember that? He had the
So
platinum hair.
Jules, he's only 30. He's only 30 years old.
He hard motherfucking 30. It felt like he been here for a million years, B.
In a perfect boxing world, AJ winning in a fight of the year type of fight, will Usyk get the trilogy?
Listen, bro, let me tell you something. What I'm gonna do tomorrow night, and I'm gonna do it on camera. I'm gonna get butt fucking naked and dance in the ring.
Yo, don't do that. Don't do that, my nigga. Please don't. Please don't do that.
And I'm gonna dance in the rain so the boxing guys can hear my chants. Be like, yo, we need old boy to win this fight, bro. We need old boy to win.
You gotta be holding the Spider-Man stuffed animal though while you do the dance.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yo, Alexander Usyk really fuck with Eeyore?
I gotta ask y'all something, and I'm gonna start with Jose. All right, we know that at super flyweight, right? Juan Francisco Estrada, he vacated the WBA title, right? So he's fighting this Cortez. Do you feel like he ducked Joshua Franco? Is that a duck to you?
Is it pig pussy pork?
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's a duck.
Oh, all right.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Jose. Is that a duck, bro? Did he duck him?
Wait, repeat the question one more time. I have a little problem with my headphones. What's up?
Okay, Juan Francisco Estrada, right? He was under orders to fight Joshua Franco, and he vacated the title. He gave it to Franco, like, nah, fuck that shit. You can have it. And he is gonna fight. He is gonna fight somebody, and it's a dude named I think Cortez. Does that look like a duck to you? Is that a duck?
Mira, man, Estrada's been doing the Ryan Garcia in a really low level because he's been ducking a little fights because this is a third fight, right? Like,
See?
So yeah, to me it's a duck then because the thing is like, how you gonna be a premier champ, a elite champion, and you just fighting like on unquitted names because you have the chance to defend the WBC and then whatever happens because I don't think he's been that guy probably he's mandatory, but
he hasn't fought since the second Chocolatito fight, bro. He hasn't, and tú sabes, él tenía sus razones que que tenía COVID, que también Chocolatito tenía COVID, but it's like, I'm gonna ask Virtuoso next. Virtuoso,
I mean,
isn't it fair?
Happens, I mean, she
Yeah, but isn't it fair to say that if you felt like you could beat Joshua Franco, then you would have fought Joshua Franco? You know what I mean? That like, yo, bro, you gave up your title. Why?
I think he does. Isn't he? Wait, hold on. Isn't he retiring like after this year?
No, he's supposed to fight. Bueno, I don't know. Yo no sé lo que él va a hacer el año que viene, pero he's supposed to be fighting Chocolatito. If he beats this Cortez guy, he's supposed to fight Chocolatito in Diciembre. So
yeah, so to me that's got to be like the swan song. So he doesn't want to ruin it. So he's just prepping for the Choco fight. But Joshua Franco,
duck, though? But isn't that a duck?
No, because how do you duck a fighter to fight someone tougher? It's the same argument we have.
Bro, he's not duck. Espera, you didn't give up the WBA to go fight Chocolatito. He's about to fucking fight a dude named Cortez.
Yeah, man.
Jules, can I get in after this?
I'm going from down to up. Take back. Who's take back?
That's me. The take back is real.
All right, take back. Is it a duck, or am I being too hard on him? Like, to me, honestly, it looks like a duck. Maybe it's not. Is it a duck to you?
You know, I've grown pessimistic in my old age. I'm just tired of boxers doing all this bullshit. I think the guy who just compared him to the Ryan Garcia kind of just encapsulates it. Everyone's just playing these games. Everyone look. It might not be a duck. I mean, maybe it's a tougher fight. Truth be told, I'm just sick and tired of fucking Estrada's antics. I'm just tired of antics in general, man. I don't pay them much mind anymore, Jules.
All right, let me go to Leighton. Leighton, he was supposed to fight Joshua Franco. He was ordered to fight Joshua Franco by the WBA. He chose to give Joshua Franco his belt so he could fight a handpick. Is that a duck?
Yeah, because if you give away your belt, it's definitely a duck. You're a champion. You're supposed to defend your belt. You know what I mean? It definitely is a duck.
All right, so that's two people that's at least three people that feel it's a duck, one that does not. Alexander, is that a duck?
Yo, Jules, the reason why I think it's a duck, but I think it's a duck for this reason. You can say whatever you want about me. Post these antics, Juan Francisco Estrada has been giving the boxing world everything they want. Tough fight after tough fight after tough fight after tough fight. And I've been fighting the people that you want me to fight. I've been in great fights. Hey, the verdicts may have been in a way that you guys may not have seen me, but hey, I cannot control what the judges do. But hey, Juan Francisco Estrada, if I was Juan Francisco Estrada, I've given the world what the world wanted. Hey, I want one more fight because I know how dangerous this kid is, and I don't want to get hurt. I want to go back home to my family because this dude is he's for real. Is it a duck? Yes, it is. It is a duck, Jules. But understand this: Juan Francisco Estrada is giving everything of himself in that ring. We can't even front on it. So I think if he wants to take an easy fight against Cortez, because in theory, no fight is easy. But if he wants to take a softer touch comparative to Joshua Franco, why not? Think about it.
All right. Michael, you got sympathy for El Gallo? You got sympathy for him?
No. I think I think this really shows you how I think it's really shows you how boxers are like really getting comfortable with pulling off bullshit. Everyone's doing the same shit nowadays. It's just like, and I just hate it. You know what I mean? I guess you could say he's doing it so like it's a tune up for, what's his name, Chocolatito after.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you talk about the old days, man. He would have. If we were talking about the old boxers, they just fight the best after the best. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He would have fought Franco, and then he would have fought Chocolatito, and that's how it should be.
Yo, Jules, can I give him a retort to that? That's not.
No, I gotta go to Leo, bro. I gotta go to Leo. Leo, is it a duck? In your opinion, is it a duck? Like, do you look at that and say, nah, he fucking ducked, bro?
Okay, I'm going to say this. I think it's a duck. I have sympathy for Gallo Estrada.
Okay.
But I think also that is in detriment for the sport because you are not allowing to the natural course of the division.
The natural order. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Because if you lose to Franco, okay, at least Franco has can improve his resume by you. But
exactly.
At docking Franco, you're going to have your Chocolatito fight, and probably after that you're going to retire, depending on how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
That Franco guy is not going. I don't think he's going to get the Chocolatito fight, and if the guys, the old guys, the OG guys,
mm-hmm.
if they don't face the younger guys, it's like it doesn't consummate what the professional boxers really should be, because for example, if Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, at least Vladimir got the fight
That's
He
a
lost.
good point. That's a
He
because
lost.
Vladimir could have been like, man, fuck a Fury. I'm about to fucking go fuck Hayden Panettiere in the ass. Like, fuck that.
Yo,
Or
chill,
retire.
man.
That was his wife, bro.
I know, but yo, it's a family-oriented show.
Yeah, Leo.
Or retire, but at least, well, Vladimir did what he's supposed to do for the sport. Now Fury fuck it up
Yeah.
tremendously, but at least Vladimir fulfilled his obligation as a champion, and Estrada is not doing that, and the sport suffers for that kind of move. Now, why I sympathize for Estrada, because in that division there is there's not great money in that division. So if you're asking for a big payday, you have to have the big fights, the bigger fight possible, to at least have 1 million, 2 million. Some of these guys, these contenders, or champions, for example, in lightweight and welterweight, they are having 1 million, 2 million for just for mandatories.
That's true.
Estrada is not gonna get.
He's not going to get a. Did you see what the purse bid was, Leo? What the winning bid was?
120 mil, 120 grand, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So I get it, but I cannot support it for the well-being of the sport.
All right, I'm gonna go to Drew. I know you don't pull no fucking punches. You don't pull no punches. Is it a duck? And do you sympathize with Gallo? You know that, like, well, I'm trying to get to this payday, and if I fight Franco, I don't make it to the pay. Maybe I don't, because I mean, it's not like, you know, Franco's not Bam. You know, so let's just cut the fucking crap. All right, Bam is Bam. But you know, do you think it's a duck?
It's a duck. And if anybody's seen American Me, there's a scene where Big Happy says, "That ain't Mexican, essay." Ever since the fucking Chocolatito rematch, Estrada's been moving funny. Very fucking funny.
I don't think he had COVID, Drew.
Exactly. It's been 17, 18 months since that fight, Jules, and he's holding up the division. He's doing fuck shit. The value is what the value is at that weight class. You're not going to get paid like a welterweight, my dude. You're not Bam Rodriguez. You're not Chocolatito. Either retire or take the fucking fight, bro.
I agree.
That's all it is. You're holding up the division. You've been acting funny since that fight in Texas with Chocolatito. Eddie Hearn is offered to pay you well, what above market value for your fucking division,
That's
and you're over there bullshitting.
That is true. And I feel like if Estrada wanted to keep the belt, because remember, it went to a purse bid because the deal wasn't reached. So the deadline came up, goes to a purse bid. The only ones that bid was Golden Boy because Joshua Franco was their fighter. But if it was a situation where like Estrada wants to keep his belt and he's like, no, I don't want to give up my belt, I'm going to negotiations, then it would have been more than just $100,000 in the pot. You see what I mean? That, you know, you would have got paid something, perhaps not what you get for Chocolatito, but you would have got paid something. So it's like, it does seem like it seems
and let's just add to that, Drews. Okay, say he had COVID. How long has it been since he fought?
Bro.
So something's okay. I'll give you out of that 15, 16 months, I'll give you 5 month excuse for COVID. It's been 10, 11 months, bro. Like, what's up?
No, it's been more than that, bro. It's been 18.
Yeah, no, so I'm saying take away COVID.
Was March of last year, bro.
They fought by the end of 2020, I think.
No, it was March. I was there at that fight in Texas.
No, it was March. But yeah, it's already been over a year. It's been well over
a year and a half.
So it's like, let me go to member. Is it a duck?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Joseph J, by the way.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell by them names. Everybody got crazy names today.
No, I mean, but yeah, it's a duck, but at the same time, I do understand because you know, he's been out the ring a while. It's okay.
AJ instantly came.
What was I talking
The
about?
moment he saw it
Train of
violently.
thought. Anyway, what was
You were
I?
talking about AJ. You were talking about the speed and the footwork to handle her.
Yes, yeah, I was.
Yo, yeah. Y'all niggas need help. I love y'all niggas. Y'all need help.
Oh,
None of y'all got the reach.
You, man.
oh God, no.
Now, police says, would it be crazy? He said, would it be crazy if I said that Estrada is moving like Leo Santa Cruz lately? Is that crazy, yo?
Oh no,
it's not.
not at
It's
all.
not.
Not at all.
It's
Because,
just
like,
true.
honestly, shout out to Eastside. I remember him. Y'all, I don't know if y'all saw his post. He put up a post on Twitter that said, "Is Estrada on the slide lately?" And I'm like,
I mean, he is
you
on
know,
the slide.
yeah.
Yo, bro, he got to be. Look. He didn't win that Chocolatito fight, bro.
No.
He didn't. Like just if I'm gonna say what I think, bro, you didn't win that fight. And we've been riding off of like, all right, boom. He looked all right against Soar. He beat the shit out of Soar, granted. And he beat the shit out of Dwayne Beeman south of the border before the Chocolatito rematch. But that rematch, I really believe, yo, that shit took something out of him, bro. Because he lost. You lost, bro.
And I think also he knows that. And he doesn't really want a third fight. He doesn't. He don't.
For
because
the bread now, he
won
wanted though. For the bread now, because it's like, well, look, you know, if I go out here with this guy, I might lose. And I might lose to Choco in the third fight, but I get more money with Choco, so I'm gonna roll with that.
Yep. I mean, because like now we're getting the third fight, yeah, but now that he's vacated his belt, that franchise bullshit is on the line. So it's like there's the payday, yeah. I mean, but in terms of prestige and legacy, there's really nothing to gain from it, which kind of sucks, you know.
So if you guys made up your minds, you know, or we just gonna be a bunch of bitches up here.
I made up my mind.
I'll talk first, nigga. What's up?
Say that shit then, motherfucker.
I got Joshua winning in 10 rounds.
10 rounds.
Hey, Chris, can I tell you something?
Say that shit.
You got a really filthy mouth.
Woo! People, will the real Usyk people please stand up? Who got Usyk?
I got
This guy.
Okay, Leo has Usyk, Drew has Usyk, Avo has Usyk by default because of Ukraine. Who else?
I got Usyk.
Jose, you got Usyk?
I don't have. I haven't had a. I don't have a. I won't have a pick until after the weigh-in. I'm nervous for Usyk.
Listen, man. No, don't do that shit. You just said what you said, bro. You gotta stand by that shit.
I'm standing by. I'm still nervous. You know me. I always got to pick after the weigh-in.
Listen, I don't blame you. That's why unless I don't pick early unless it hit me off top. They're like, nah, bro. Like this motherfucker's gonna lose, bro. You see what I mean?
Jules, can I tell you my pick? All right. AJ by KO.
You got AJ for real?
I do. Because you know why? A lot of people are writing him off thinking he's gonna lose. And we got to remember that AJ is it ain't me. I don't know who that is. But
who's doing all that?
Not me.
Who's going in the glove? Who's fumbling chips? Come on, man. Get your shit together. Anyway,
Go ahead, Jay.
But okay, AJ, because everybody's it seems to me for the most part everybody's not liking AJ's chances. Everybody's underestimating him, and I just got this gut feeling that he's going to shock us all, so it really surprise us. So AJ by KO is my pick. I'm sticking to it.
Now I want to.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
About AJ and Usyk. Usyk looks bigger and slower. Has anyone been looking at his head movement and in his movements? He's been looking kind of slow with all that extra weight. You feel me?
Lisa got AJ. Look, man, this is what I'm gonna say, right? A part of me want AJ to win just because they want him to be perfect. You know what I mean? And I never thought it was fair because I gotta say this as a Brit from Watford. Matter of fact, I gotta turn the camera on.
No, Tszyu, you should hear what they're saying about him over here. All the press, half the country's turned on him, mate.
Listen. As a Watford resident, right? The way they treat this dude, why do I think it's unfair? Because he didn't retire 2 times, 3 times. You know, he didn't have to do that. Ain't no, I'm out, but I'm in, but I'm out, but I'm in. and all this bullshit to fight a mandatory. We had to go through a whole fucking dog and pony show for Fury to fight White. We never have to go through none of that with AJ, bro. He do the goddamn job.
He gets it
get
done.
the haircut, do the job, keep the belt, problem solved. You don't got to go through that. And these guys, the level of adulation they get for doing so much less, like, bro, Fury beat Wilder. So fucking what? Wilder's a hype job. Always was. I don't want to hear that shit. You fought no one for 7 years. This kid was fighting for a title after 3.
Hey, Jules, you know, let me say something, Jules. You know who I know I said I already go. I'm going for Usyk. You know, I gotta go for Usyk. But like, I'm not. I talked to a couple people. I'm not the kind of guy who switched on Joshua and said like, oh, one loss, I'm gonna switch on Joshua. Because I remember when he lost to Ariz, everyone just like, oh, he was never shit. He was always this. When he won the fight back, everyone's like, all right, whatever. I'm not that kind of fan. I have props to Joshua. However the fight goes, it's gonna be a great fight. However it ends up, but all I gotta say is this: I kind of get what you mean when you say like it pisses you off, because like I see some of his fake ass fans, like quote unquote fans, that hate on Joshua for no reason, and I feel it's uncalled for, because like you said, while Wilder was still contemplating how high his jockstraps got to go up, he was going for fucking he was going for fights, for unification.
And this is the thing about what
I'm not done ranting. Tyson Fury already had a loss on his record, and because he got a gift doesn't change that. McDermott beat you, bro. They want you to be up there with like, bro, McDermott beat you, bro. Your own people was talking about how big a fucking travesty that was. Your own people. That was in the UK before the Americans even knew who the fuck you were. You lost. Your fans don't want to talk about that. But AJ would go in there with Ruiz, who was a world title challenger at least, who a lot of people thought beat Joseph Parker, okay? Right?
And I'm going to tell you this.
You lost to McDermott, bro. And if it would have been a loss in his column to McDermott, this would be a very different conversation. Because you did lose that fucking fight. And everybody in England knows that shit.
And I'm going to tell you this. A lot of AJ, having been at the first fight and seeing how it moves, a lot of AJ's hate comes because that motherfucker gets bitches. Do you know how many broads were there just to see AJ,
Say it one more time,
Jules?
please.
Jules, you know how many broads were there just to see AJ fight, didn't know who the fuck Usyk was?
It's real shit out here, bro.
AJ gets a lot of hate because he's also a fucking, to these women, he's also a sex symbol.
Ladies love Cool Joshua, bro. LL Cool Joshua, bro.
Where's Kat? I know. Where's Kat? Is she in the chat? Kat's ready to risk it all for AJ right now.
Yo, guys, I ain't gonna hold you on my Instagram. There's a girl who made a whole TikTok saying, yo, Anthony Joshua, take me out the streets. You know where she's from? Texas, bro. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
These women find this guy irresistible, B. Let me tell you something, bro.
Jules, there's women that'll pay for his pay-per-view, Jules.
Well, no, but in all seriousness, that's why they hate on the man, though. That's why.
And I would also like to add on to the fact that the quote unquote fans that Fury had, where were these quote unquote fans in the Povetkin fight, or like in the original Wilder fight? Like your pay-per-views were never that big, my boy.
Bro, and I'm trying to appreciate Fury's boxing because I acknowledge that, yes, Fury is definitely a great boxer. But let's stop pretending that there's not angling. There is a lot of angling. You lost to McDermott. You retired to get out of the Klitschko fight. You chose Wilder. You could have
lost to Satan.
You chose Wilder because you knew it would be easier.
You know what? Fury
Davis, right? He's saying that if Joshua beats Usyk, it's still not as big as win as Fury beating Wilder. You know what I mean? No chance.
Listen, let me say this, man. Fury might call AJ a dosser or whatever, a bum, but you know what AJ is? A flip-flopping bitch, which is what fucking Fury is, man. And you know what? Let me say this about Alexander Usyk. He doesn't get much love. Yo, Alexander Usyk makes me proud to be slightly cockeyed.
Listen,
he makes me proud of my gap in my teeth, man.
He makes me proud to be Slava. He makes me proud to be Slava. He makes me proud to be Ukraine. He makes me proud to be a Capricorn, bro. Because he's just a phenomenal athlete in general.
I'm proud to be black.
You never had to worry with Usyk about
He's a
nothing.
pound for pound.
Like
He's
these
a
two
pound for
guys,
pound.
these two guys are the most likable fucking figures in the sport, bro.
Let me say this.
But-
Look, there was a whole thing. There was a whole thing when Gassiev wanted the fight to be in Russia. You know, and even then, like, most people didn't realize, they're like, oh shit, he got to go to Russia. Usyk has to go to Russia. A Ukrainian to Russia for a fight. Nah, that's not good, dog. I knew about it, which is why I did a video about it. And my man Usyk, like, man, fuck that shit. We going. And he go and he dominate that man. Gassiev didn't win a round.
Dog walked him. Dog
Let me
walked
tell
him.
you
Mad
something.
shit too. He was talking mad shit too.
Let me tell you something. Alexander Usyk's win against Murat Gassiev is better than Vladimir Klitschko's win against Alexander Povetkin, and they both fought in Russia.
Let me tell you this: Alexander Usyk's a champion in any era.
He's a Capricorn, ain't he? Shit.
Exactly.
Like
Jules said, between him and Crawford, those are the only two guys that could be 15-round fighters in the game right now.
Yes. And that's the conversation that we had before. What fighter in this era do I think could make it in any other era before it? And the two names that immediately come to mind without thinking about it is Terrence Crawford and Alexander Usyk. Out of this era, this crop of guys,
100%.
those are two guys I think in the 15-round era, they'd be able to hang.
I think
Terrence
Shakur
Crawford makes
Stevenson too.
I haven't seen
Terrence
him.
Crawford.
Haven't seen
Terrence
him.
Crawford makes me proud to be a Libra.
Bro, Terrence
That's
Crawford.
a fact. Libra gang, baby.
Nebraska. Make me proud to be from Omaha, Nebraska, bro.
Nigga, you from Watford, Nebraska, Ukraine, Australia,
Joe's from everywhere,
He's a
yo.
world champion, isn't
real
he?
quick, you know why Jules is from all those places?
He's a sick bastard that has schizophrenia in that.
He's got pussy in all those places. Don't let him fool you.
That's a fact. And also think about it. Like,
It's a family show, bro.
Yo,
PG,
man.
think about
Why did you say that?
Chill. You guys me van a meter hombre en
Jules.
Ajá, me van a amenazar.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this though. Also, Jules may have a dissociative identity disorder, so he might be, a little skits.
Jules goes to all these countries with all these beautiful women and has them singing suavemente. Let's
Suavemente.
By the way, Jules.
How that sings that song, bro?
That was Crespo.
And
That was
Crespo
Crespo.
is a weird looking motherfucker, bro.
Hey, he was Bad
He
Bunny
looks like
before
Hernan
Bad Bunny.
Crespo.
Crespo get bitches.
He was though, exactly. That like Bad Bunny took his whole swag. He doesn't look just like, but you know what I mean. Like your niche was his niche. You know what I mean?
And he sing better than you, and he makes timeless music. Yo, is it me or Elvis Crespo look like Hernan Crespo from Argentina? Anyone knows who Hernan Crespo, the soccer player? No, you don't watch soccer?
No.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, so he cut.
Herman Crespo, Argentina.
Yeah, he does look like Hernan Crespo a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now,
Jules.
Police says, I believe he knew he could go 15 rounds too. The way he knocked motherfuckers out, he wouldn't have to.
Hey, Jules, question. Can you blow up my profile pic right quick? I got to ask you something.
Bro.
Where did you get this outfit?
I got that at Kohl's. It was a sale.
Nice.
It was a sale that day. I got it
You
at
got to send
Kohl's.
me the link, man. I got to rock that shit in the streets, though, for real.
But listen, look, all jokes aside, just from a consumer perspective, right? These are the underappreciated fighters. And I noticed that it's the Americans that gravitate towards the bells and whistles instead of the substance. Because the fighters that never give you a problem for the fight that you want to see, like Terrence has not been the problem. Y'all wish he was the problem. He was not the problem. The excuses and the bullshit was coming from the other side. All right, Terrence really don't give you a problem. Usyk definitely don't give you a problem. If you wanted to see an undisputed cruiserweight champion, he didn't give you no problems. If you wanted to see him move up in weight and try his luck as a heavyweight against the heavy, he didn't give you a problem, bro. But because Fury talks a bunch of shit, y'all like him. Because Wilder talks a bunch of shit, y'all like him. Y'all a bunch of fucking bitches, man.
Yo, guys, I have a question for all of you. I mean, anybody of you who have encountered like a cokehead, you know they actually like kind of function, or you're not.
Yeah.
But when you actually sit down and talk with them, like in an actual conversation, none of what the fuck they're talking about makes fucking sense. So to me, Tyson Fury is just a cokehead. Like,
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he did get test positive for something.
I got told he was on the crack as well.
He's
I
on
know
something,
someone
that's for
said
sure.
he's
Dude,
on
I
the
find
crack.
it funny, yo. I find it funny that Fury's fucking fanboys will bring up clenbuterol, same as Wilder for Canelo, but they ignore the nandrolone.
They hate talking about that. Like, this is what I mean. They're like, most of these Americans and most of these newfound Fury fans, some of which are Brits, they weren't following his career when he pulled out of that fucking, who was it, Ustinov? He pulled out on Ustinov?
Yep, sure did.
He pulled out on Pulev. You know,
Price too. David Price as well.
And it's like, yo, you gonna tell me this man's career didn't have angling? No, his career had a lot of angling. His resume is slightly better than Wilder's. Like, well, not slightly. Let's say it is better than Wilder's. It is. He beat Vladimir. He beat Chisora 2 times, right?
Dylan White. Now all that. So.
But I honestly don't feel now your resume is not better than AJ's. What? You're not consistent, bro. You never were. You never were. Imagine what would people say? What would people say if AJ swerved Ustinov how you swerved Ustinov? What would people say if AJ swerved?
You wouldn't hear the end of it.
You swerved Pulev.
They throw him to the wolves.
And we talking about a prime Pulev, not this shit that's running around. We talking about Pulev in his prime. For those that don't know, Pulev was an Olympian. Pulev ain't never been no bitch.
Julius, a question. Have you ever heard about this kind of move before? When a guy, a champion, retires and holds up the belt still?
No, honestly, no.
No, never in history of the sport.
Never. I don't know anybody that did this, to be real with you. Like, Vitaly, for example, he officially retired in 2013. The title officially went vacant in 2013. He didn't announce his retirement. Yeah, but I'm going to hold on to the belt till next year, just in case I change my mind.
That's because Vitaly wasn't made like a fucking schizophrenic skank, bro.
Some breaking news, y'all. Bad Chad Dawson just announces his retirement.
What?
Oh no!
Oh god!
No, it's hilarious.
Devastating.
Yes, sick as hell. Yeah, I thought that nigga stopped fighting.
Bad Chad Dawson. Yep, just
Yo, look
like
at Jules' face.
on his Instagram. He's retired.
Everybody, just stop and look at Jules' face right now.
Jules Culkin.
Listen, I'm just being real, B. I'm
Best
just
Chad
being
Dawson
real.
memory, Jules.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to live with this, bro. Chad not gonna box no more.
Oh.
Best Chad Dawson memory, Jules.
Getting beat by Ward.
I know what it is when he got knocked out by Adonis.
Oh yeah. I forgot he fought Adonis Stevenson.
That
was back when Adonis used to fight people, though. He wasn't always a cherry picker. He used to fight people.
Because when he didn't cherry pick, he almost died. Leave him alone, okay?
No. That was the karma from the boxing guys for him holding up fucking undisputed, almost fucking getting killed in the ring.
Yeah, that's what he hold up undisputed.
But Adonis always made me laugh because every time he would get a highlight roll KO, he would run around the ring like he won the lottery or something.
Man, bro, man. Listen. Just back to the
but his knockouts were bad though.
They were.
That was the Vosdick fight. That was many years later. The point is that if Anthony Joshua did the same things that Fury did, he would not be able to get away with it. The reason that Fury was able to get away with it is because people wasn't watching you like that when you did all that shit. You see what I mean? This is why I always go back to Fury has been around. Fury is from the previous era. So is Wilder. AJ is from this era, and they're from the previous era. Y'all both debuted in 2008. AJ didn't debut till 3-4 years later after y'all. When y'all debuted, which is why Fury ended up fighting him, you were part of the Klitschko era. Wilder, you just skipped that whole shit. Like, you literally skipped that whole era. The Pulevs, the Chisoras, the Povetkin's, you skipped all of them. You skipped them. Vladimir, Vitaly, even though you was around for all of them. That's why it bothers me that they get away with this sucker shit. And motherfuckers really like, fam, this dude been around since 2008. You didn't find out about him. I know you didn't find out about him till 2015. I know you didn't.
And you know what's crazy, Jules, about it? It's like when he was in his, coke and steroids bullshit. Actually, the boxing world was ready to put him in on that spot. you know, because of the Klitschko rematch, that because they were ready. But since nothing was going on in the heavyweight division, they found Joshua, which is a combination between like Oscar De La Hoya and Mike Tyson. You know, somebody who can crack but have the looks. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter. The thing about Joshua is it doesn't matter how many times he loses. He's still gonna have the looks and he's still gonna be aged. You know.
Pero es que eso es la verdad. The heavyweight division did not heat up in 2015. It was in 2016. When Fury beat Vladimir, nobody fucking cared, bro. The people that did see the fight, that shit was terrible. That's the worst heavyweight title fight. That's what they were saying, all right? Wilder, when he beat Stavern, were you getting multi? No, you weren't, bro.
But Joshua against Klitschko was a great fight, though.
En ese tiempo, eso fue que cuando Wilder was the one that was bad-mouthing Luis Ortiz because he had tested positive for nandrolone the year before in 2014.
Look how weak that heavyweight division era was. That Wilder was like the guy. You know what I mean? Like, yo. And now he's being exposed by fucking Cokehead, Gypsy King, Ladronazo,
if you think about Wilder's reign, it's like, to me, it's insane because I'm going to put it this way. I didn't always watch every division. The one division that I always kept up with ever since I was a boxing fan was always the heavyweight division. So I know my heavyweight boxing, right? You think about resumes like Mike Tyson, who in his heyday, he fought 8 out of the top 10 guys. 8!
That's 80%, baby.
All right? You think about guys like Lewis that beat every man he ever fought. There was no stones left unturned with Lennox Lewis. He didn't skip anything. He did the domestic level thing with Frank Bruno, came out on top. And then world level, you know what I mean? That was the trajectory. And then you think about Wilder, like, bro, what the fuck were you doing for 7 years, bro? And then
I can answer that. I can answer that. He was feasting on overweight, light heavyweights, and cruiserweights. That's what he was doing.
And then he wins the belt.
Number one. How is he still number one WBC? How?
That's what we've been asking for the longest time.
All right, he wins the belt, and it's not like he wasn't fighting the like. Even after you won the belt, you did not fight the guys. You fought one good fighter out of all those title defenses that you have. You only fought one good fighter, and that was Luis Ortiz. The very next good fighter you fought, you started losing. To me, that says it all. Yep. If you would have fought Chisora when he was calling you out, he would have fucking beat you. I don't care if he got losses in the double digits now. You are from the Chisora era. The difference between you and Derek is Derek didn't duck nobody. That's the difference.
That's a fact. Watch Chisora, niggas. Watch Chisora, baby.
Ow!
Hey, let me ask you this. When Dylan White wanted to fight him all those years back, when he was the number one contender, well, do you think he would have beat him then as well?
All I'm going to tell you is he walked forward with his hands down, got hit with a left hook by Eric Molina. If that would have been a Dillian White left hook, I think Wilder goes down.
Done.
I think he goes to sleep.
Goes down.
Done.
You remember the left hook he got Chisora got hit with?
I'm not telling you that it's a definite. I'm just saying that I know Wilder's career, bro. If Harold Sconeers puts you on Quiz Street, if Eric Molina puts you on Quiz Street, some of these guys that have been out here, like Pulev, like Povetkin, like Chisora, like White, it's a reason you never fought them.
Can I just say this? I think Wilder's knees would have exploded if he had fought Povetkin.
Probably.
Yep.
Hey, I'll tell you.
Povetkin would have shaked and baked him. He would have like on some N1 type shit. Like Wilder would have been broke his fucking ankle, bro.
White chocolate Povetkin.
Ow!
Jules, you want to know something funny? I got into an argument with a Wilder fanboy a couple of days ago. Actually, he told me that fucking Joshua ducked Wilder in the original offer. You remember pre-DAZN when he was with Sky? And I said, you dumb fuck, the offer wasn't even real. There was no freaking
that was a $50 million bullshit, right?
The way you kill that argument is the money was coming from BT. Joshua was exclusively contracted to Sky Frank Warren himself is on
Yeah,
camera
Frank.
by way of Boxing Social. He said, yes, Shelly Finkel, we had conversations about that, and it was BT that wanted to buy the rights for the fight. Off top, they didn't know it then. They kind of know it now. They're like, well, wait a minute. BT was going to pay for the fight. He was on Sky exclusively, bro. He had literally just signed $100 million deal to box exclusively on Sky. So how the fuck are you going to offer him $50 million to box on your platform? That don't make
they still want to go. Walter took AJ.
Well, here's what
And another wait, nobody talk. Another way you kill that is simple. Oh, Wilder offered him $50 million. AJ offered him $100.
Hello.
That's what
Say
I
it
was trying
again,
to
Joe.
say.
Say it again.
Bro, that's what
Say it again,
AJ offered you. If you telling me that I ducked you because I ain't take your 50, bitch, you ain't take my $100.
Jules, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Jules. I use that exact same argument. I said, fine, let's hypothetically pretend AJ turned down the $50 million. A couple of years later, he offered him $100 million. $20 million for a fucking mandatory.
And Wilder admitted,
exactly.
he admitted, yo, they offered me more money for AJ than Fury, but I chose Fury. That's why I don't pity you, bro.
And he still hasn't deleted that tweet.
Joshua Duck Wilder.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I could go. I got the. Yo, listen. I got the link for that shit saved in my notes whenever I need to pull it out.
Yo, please, pull it up right now. Pull it up right now, please. Please pull it up right now.
I'm not fucking playing with you, Chris.
Here's the issue when you use logic, bro. They go back to the same. It's like a circle with these guys, man. You keep talking in a circle.
Shit, I can't join the motherfucking shit because the fucking shit. Wait a minute. Yo, Jules, Usyk versus James Toney. Nah, James wasn't at his best at cruiser, bro. That version.
But, James did beat the Philly Gerald.
No, but I mean, like that fat, slow like think about it. James was good in the pocket. Would Usyk stay in the pocket with James? No, he box and punch. He fight him long range from the outside.
Stick and move.
Yeah, like I'd favor Usyk in that fight. Liam Rockwell says
James.
Wilder has to take some responsibility as it was his career, but I don't put the blame on him. It wasn't Wilder that said, you're right about that. But all I'm saying is Americans are stupid and they like smoke and mirrors. It was Alexis Rumbeto who said it better than I could. American boxing fans don't even really like boxing. They like the toxicity. That's why they still defend Broner. Broner did not live up to what they thought he would live up to, but they still prop him up as it like, fam, you gotta accept that he not what you thought he was.
Julius, I'm gonna echo the same sentiments you said. I'm gonna echo the same sentiments you said because you and I think very similarly. Americans like Broner, like Wilder, like all those type of people because it reminds them of themselves being fuck-ups.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
I remember you saying that, and I remember saying that to myself. Americans adore. They cannot get enough of fuck-ups because that's what they see themselves, irrespective of how successful they are.
Can I get on my Kevin Samuels?
Talk your shit, Julius Samuels, baby.
Listen, the Julius Samuels moment, right? These broads will be out here dating fuck boys and fuck boys and fuck boys that then get mad that they at the fuck boys. Bitch, you the one dating them. So when it come to these ain't shit ass boxers, well, they ain't shit, so you ain't shit. It's simple. If he's a liar and you identify with him, that's because you're a liar.
I mean, for those for those that were defending Earl Spence getting sauced and crashing his car, would have probably drunk dumbasses themselves.
That's what I'm saying. like if you see Broner as someone, and I don't give a shit, I don't have to feel sorry for you, bitch. If you see Broner is a constant fuck up and you identify with that shit, it's because you're a fuck up. You're a fuck up. You're an idiot. That's why that shit appeals to you. It don't appeal to because I don't do dumb shit like that. So why the fuck would it appeal to me? This is a professional athlete that is supposedly about billions in an Uber terrorizing a hardworking blue-collar Uber driver. And I'm
that's some bullshit.
I'm supposed to look at that like, oh, that's some man. You a grown man. You're not a teenager. You a grown man.
They're like, what are you, 16?
At least.
Oh my God. You can't pull bitches normal. You got to do this freak shit.
You know something that reminds me though. Like my father used to tell me, always tell yourself, I'm whatever age you are right now, and look at yourself doing whatever you're doing. So if you feel like you're gonna look stupid, do it.
Yeah.
Stop. Like my dad used
See,
to tell me that shit, and like eso también. That's something that I was talking about, like with one of my guys at my job at the hospital, dude. Lo que pasa es, Jules, que aquí no hay cultura, eh. Like, they don't have, like, something, to abide by, like, porque tú
No,
sabes
yo te voy
que...
a decir, no es que no hay cultura, no es que no hay cultura, es que hay una mentalidad que, o cualquier estupidez que yo hago, it's okay because ellos me tratan mal. No, it's not okay, bro. I'm not rich, I didn't come up rich. Yo soy del barrio, manín. Y eso no significa que cada estupidez yo hago that I'm supposed to get a pass. Fuck out of here, B. You're accountable for yourself, bro. You are always accountable for yourself.
Tú sabes,
Always.
es que esa vaina del hood, yo, like, I always told myself this thing. I'm from a hood, but I'm not a hood dude. I don't know if it makes sense to you.
No, porque eso es lo que the feeling is that because I come from an impoverished neighborhood, that does not mean I was deprived of opportunities. That is bullshit. Oh, because there are no millionaires that ever came out of the ghetto? Really? I could name 10. I could name more than that. The truth is, you're a fuck up and you want to blame everyone for it but yourself, when in reality, it is your fault. It's always been your fault. Your life and the quality of it has always been on you. It's not my responsibility. It's not the government's responsibility. It's always been your responsibility. So if you, man, fuck your fucking environment, bro. Why don't we just throw you in one of them third world countries, right? If you really want to see what something bad look like. You don't know what bad is.
Vamos a soltar una capital allá.
Why don't, you know what? Let's take you to Ukraine. Let's put you in the front lines. Because this is terrible out here. Oh my God, they don't fucking like me.
Bring him to Juarez. Bring him to Juarez. Bring him to Juarez.
Hey, I live the.
At least look up to Keith Thurman. He flips houses. Instead, they want to look up to Earl Spencer flips Ferraris.
I'm just saying that Americans really think these problems that I hear about, knowing what I know about the world, these problems that I hear Americans complain about, I'm like, Latino griping about representation in movies. You think that's a problem? The cartels south of the border, that is not a problem. The impoverished countries like Paraguay, Uruguay, that's not a problem. Representation in movies is a problem.
Hey, I lived in Ukraine before the war.
You still on that, bro? You still pissed off about that, aren't you?
Crazy, Jules?
It's a lot of shit. Listen, it bothers me because things that don't make sense stay with me. You care so much about the Latino community that this is what you're talking about and not that. No, you don't care.
We're not talking about what happened in Juarez?
You don't care about the community. Just like virtue signaling is one of those things that annoys the fuck out of me, right? That's what that is.
Tú sabes lo peor, que like it's not even like teenagers, it's like grown ass people.
Sí, esos son viejos como yo. No, que necesitamos más latino en la. Hey, cocksucker, write the movie and write a good movie so that a studio will pick it up and you can cast whoever the fuck you want.
Yeah, tú sabes what's crazy? Like my dad can't be in social media anymore. He's like in his late 40s, but he cannot be in social media because of the bitching. Like he can't digest it.
Put it this way, right? Okay, I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan, but I respect the hell out of him. Why? Those are his projects that he wrote. It's his vision, all right? And when I see un Latino complaining, it's not because, oh yeah, they're not giving us enough roles. It's because you don't have the talent to create the roles because Tyler Perry did it. Key and Peele are doing it. I just watched this fucking movie, right? It's like a fantasy almost. I saw it because of Zazie Beetz. My God, Zazie Beetz.
Woo! You're talking about Nope?
You put up a photo of her?
Talking about Nope?
Wait. Not Nope. I didn't see Nope, but I'm going to watch Nope when I get the chance. It was a Wild Wild West movie.
The Harder They Fall.
The Harder They Fall. I was watching that shit, right? It's great. It's great, right? And when you have the talent, see, and I've been saying this for years because I've argued about it with my wife for years, that you cannot ask the studio to create roles for you. They don't do that. They finance films. So if you want representation in Hollywood and on television, you need to stop being in front of the camera and get behind it. But you attention whores and your fragile egos, you don't want to be behind the camera, or you don't have the talent to write a movie. You want someone else to write the movie for you. Fuck you.
You know,
Hey, Jules, hey, did you know the director of that movie is the brother of Seal?
Really?
Really? James Samuel. Yep, that's Seal's brother,
Look,
the singer.
It's a fun little movie. You know,
Does he have burns on his face too?
You got Idris Elba, you got Regina King, you got old boy from fuck man, he's from Atlanta, but he had a small role.
Lakeith Stanfield, right?
Yeah. You had Zazie Beetz.
Yep.
It's like it was the whole thing. It's like it's dope. You want to watch a cool little action movie because it's not like it's a whole. But I ain't gonna front. The end was dope. The end was like I was like, wow.
But AJ, I gotta ask you a question.
Yo,
does James Samuels have burns on his face?
I've never seen him. I just read his article on Wikipedia, but I've never seen his face. Now I gotta look that shit up. I'm curious.
Anyway, to make a long story short, all right. Why does that irritate me? Because that's representation in Hollywood is not an issue. That's bullshit. There are real issues happening, and you don't give a fuck about them. You're using this like to seem like, oh yeah, this noble cult. Like, man, suck a fucking noble dick.
Julius, just to add to your point real quick, because I'm gonna go a little deeper, but we Hispanics, right? Like some of us, and I don't have any kids. You have maybe 2 or 3 kids, right, Jules?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a daughter or 2 daughters or 1 boy, whatever, like, and you know, probably as a kid, you know, you let them say, yeah, I want to be an actor, but as a grown, you know, as an adolescent, you don't want to let them do that. Like, you're gonna let your daughter like be kissing random men on screen? No. So like in our culture, you're not gonna let your kids do that because it's basically prostituting your kids. No, so in our culture, it's not something that, you know, like it's a lot of actors. We have representation already, you know.
Pero también es que representation in Hollywood. Eso no son problemas. Y la otra cosa es que eso no es un requisite. It is not a requisite that you be represented. Exactly. It's not a requisite. You know what's a requisite? Food, shelter. Those are requisites. That's important. You seeing someone in a movie that's not a requisite. Fuck you.
Can I say
Fuck
something?
You.
¿Por qué no escriben un libro?
Mamagüevo, coño.
Let me say this, Jules. I find it always funny when I see look in my mind, if I see you have billions of dollars or millions of dollars, your struggles, I can't find the willpower to give a shit about them.
Yeah, like look.
You remember when COVID hit and the fucking millionaires were in their houses and they were making like those videos and shit talking about COVID?
What are we gonna do? Oh no!
Like, Ivo, let me tell y'all this: if I ever hit the lottery for like millions of dollars, y'all never gonna hear from me again. I'm out.
Bro, all I'm saying is this. All I'm trying to say is that it's not a requisite that you turn on your television and see someone that looks like you. It's not. That is not a right. That is not a human right. That's not a right of any kind. Now, if you really want to champion that cause, you will stop asking people to give you things and write the fucking movie.
Yourself.
A tu diligencia, like do what you gotta do. Like stop crying.
Shit is stupid. Like I love Sylvester Stallone's story because that's a real champ. He wrote that shit
himself, and he fought with the studio.
And they tried to cut him out.
Rocky as well.
Nope, he want Marlon Brando like slide like hell no. I'm playing.
No, I'm Rocky, motherfucker. Tyler Perry, the same kind of deal. He wrote that. Whatever you think of it, he wrote that. All right. And my thing is, what do you expect that directors and screenwriters work on these films and their overall vision of the film in order to accommodate you and your insecurities? Man, fuck you. Well, fuck. It's not a requisite you turn on your... You gotta look like me, bro. Nobody look like me. Who fucking cares?
Stallone was Rocky, and look, when he was young, he looked like a retarded person, you know, con el problema de la boca que él tiene.
Sí.
Now, that stopped him to be an actor? No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Con ese acento que tiene ese tipo, Arnold Schwarzenegger, imagínate how difficult it was. But he made it work because winners win and quitters quit and complainers complain. It's simple. ¿Cuánto dominicano hay en la televisión? Not a lot. Do you see me complaining about that? No.
Hey, y'all want to hear something hilarious? Like, I was watching the Rocky movies with my sister, right? My younger sister. And then, like, I showed her the Rambo movies. Y'all know what she said? Why is he talking like he like with a slur, like he's retarded? I'm like, like,
yo, he's the only dude that I've known in life that's never get hit in his head like that and sounds punch drunk. He just came out the womb punch drunk. What the hell?
All I'm saying is that it's silliness. That's all it's that it's like, I think that's more of an issue in Brazil than it is in America, because there is a similar issue in Brazil that in their television and their media, all of the Brazilians are not being represented. And I do believe that, yes, that's an issue. Why? Because you're only putting the fair-skinned people on television as if this whole other group of people is not there. And you're doing it on purpose. That's why it's an issue. Here, it's not that. If you want to write a script for your own, for your people, you can. You're just lazy, and you keep waiting for people to give you things. Fuck you.
By the way, y'all know that model Cara Delevingne, right? What's her name?
Cara Delevingne?
Yeah. Like, she was on a talk show once, and I recall her saying, like, she was there with
put your tongue back in your mouth, bro. You doing?
And all this kind of shit. And she was saying, like, oh, yeah, I had to audition for this movie. I mean, they wouldn't cast me. They had to, watch my audition tapes. And I'm like, oh, that's so me. And I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't that the process? I mean, what did you expect for them to just give it to you?
And that's this generation. That is why I don't like this. They keep expecting everybody to give them things, and if you don't get it, it's a human rights issue, no, it's not an issue.
Oh no, you're sexist. Right? You're a misogynist. All this stuff.
You're misogyny. You don't want to.
I mean, that's literally like I applied for a job at NASA. Oh, what are your qualifications in space engineering and mechanics? Oh, none. We can't hire you. We can't hire you.
Yo, it's like Idris Elba when he was on The Wire. Everyone thought he was an American. And when they realised he was British, they're like, why haven't the Americans got the job? Why are they giving the British?
That's all them wholesome niggas. Come on, man.
Like,
that's a fact.
Idris Elba, a lot of these actors that are coming over, right? They're great actors, bro.
They are.
I don't care if he's from the UK or this. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Give it to who is good for the role. Why? When a director sits down and directs, or the screenwriter sits down and screenwrites, they have a vision. It may be a vision of something in particular, but it's on them. It's not about accommodating you at home and all your fucking insecurities.
Yeah, but Idris Elba on The Wire, bro, I really thought he was from Baltimore, bro. I did not think he was a Brit at all, bro.
I've seen him in My Little Girls where he had the daughters and he was going through the
customs. That's a fact. Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't know. Well, shit,
I don't know what it is about. Like, I don't know what it is about Brits, but man, they can flawlessly do American accents, man.
Your accent's easy. Your accent's easy. You lot can't do ours. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I want to sound like I'm from Liverpool. What do I gotta do? I gotta do, bro. I gotta hang out with Tony Bellew for a couple of days, bro.
When I was a kid,
Tony Bellew's funny as shit, bro.
One of my favorite TV shows when I came to America was this show called Dr. House. What made me want to become a doctor?
Oh, I love Dr. House, bro.
For the longest time, I didn't even know he was from Britain, bro. I thought he was American.
Yeah, look, Henry. Look, it's good actors. It's good actors all over the world. And my thing is simple, bro. America's got a lot of good actors. The UK has a lot of good actors. It's good actors all over the world. Stop hating, man. Let people.
Let's give some love to Australia. Just for the American acting jobs.
Jules, fellas, I can see it now. If Joshua loses, Tony gonna be like, "Oh, I'm just absolutely gutted for him.
So gorgeous, so gorgeous.
He's worked very hard. He's worked very, very hard.
I'm gutted.
He works so hard, you know. And
I'm gutted that he's a law.
You sound Scottish. You sound Scottish, mate.
Let me read the super chat. Manny Ruiz says the problem in the U.S. is too many people cry victim. Everybody wants to be the victim. Yeah, which I agree, because that's what I see. When I seen John Leguizamo, right? He went on the joint and he was talking about it. And I'm like, yo, fam, you've been in Hollywood enough that you should be writing the movies at this point and selling them to the studio.
Or at least directing.
or at least directing. So if what you're waiting for is for the studio to just come up with roles, like an assembly line of roles, you can fucking forget it, bro. The way it goes down is when you start writing the movies. It's always been that way. That's who's in control of the ship, whoever write the movie, not just the studio that finances it. You need a movie to finance in the first place.
There's a famous saying that if you want to get something done, yourself.
Do it yourself.
I mean, Jules, I mean, honestly, everybody, if Jean-Claude Van Damme can direct the movie, anybody can fucking do it.
Ain't that the truth? That motherfucker done been in every version of Blood. Like, you know, every Van Damme movie is just another version of Bloodsport.
It
like,
really is. It really is.
It's just another version of Bloodsport.
Quiet as kept. Quiet as kept.
It's because if it's not broke, don't fix it, you know?
I mean, it worked, right? It did work, right? I ain't going front though. The prison joint was dope with the Sandman. Remember when he had to fight the Sandman?
Oh, that motherfucker!
My favorite one when he
hell at me.
Jules,
Who was that guy?
How about the conjugal visit though, Jules?
I remember that. Well, that didn't come out right. Hey,
fucking yo.
How was that conjugal biscuit?
That Sandman.
That's the shit. It sounds crazy.
What was that movie called? What was the name of the movie?
That was Death
Warrant.
Yeah, that was it.
Death Warrant.
And what about Kelly Brock with Steven Seagal though?
Hard Target. I mean, Hard to Kill. I remember that.
Hard to Kill.
You remember what the dude kept saying in the movie?
Jesus
and you could take that, and you could take that to the bank.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent, the blood bank.
Real shit, yo. Good movies back then. Good movies.
Hell yeah,
man. That shit chapped my motherfucking ass.
What about Ray Don Chong and Commando though?
Ooh.
Ray Don Chong was that shit, yo.
Getting out that plane, and she was the pilot in that movie.
Telling you what, all the light skin joints, man. I used to want to Shaq all the light skin joints. Lisa Bonet, Jasmine Guy, Ray Don Chong, Vanity, all the red bones and all the light skin joints. I used to want to Shaq him.
And Jasmine Guy was.
Yo, is it me? Is it me or Usyk looks like Perry the Platypus? Or this is like the white version of Perry the Platypus?
You know who he looked like? He looked like the dude from Quest in that picture.
Yes, he do. Oh my God!
He looked like the dude from Quest.
Oh shit!
We had these cartoons as a kid who talk about like Cossacks. That's what he dressed up as at the freaking press conference.
Oh no, I knew that.
So we had these cartoons with Cossacks, and we had these old like picture books with them, bro. And Usyk looks like a default like action Cossack from my childhood, man. Say even the gap teeth. I don't know, like he was born with the. Like he's born to look
Cossack,
like him.
bro. Who played Metal Gear Solid when they called Solid Snake a Cossack? Y'all remember that shit?
You funny as hell, bro. You funny as hell. You was fucking fool, my nigga. Oh my God.
General.
Like somebody like found you and shit, like bling.
Yo, Julius is a fucking fool, bro. Like he's calling Metal Gear Solid.
Solid Snake. Mr. Monte says, shout out the ring. Montero said it's a matter of time before Showtime gives AB another opportunity he doesn't deserve. Still stuck on PBC's freshman class. I do agree with that we could say what we want to say now, but for some reason they keep him around. And I always go back to like, yo, fam, when you do a show, it costs money to have people holding cameras and all of that costs money. Why would you invest money in Broner? Where is his career going that you need to invest money in Broner? Please tell me, what did you spend making Giovanni Santiago versus Broner? And what did you get back? Nothing.
Also didn't help that it came on the same night as Bichel Valdez. Y'all remember that?
I remember that. That was the fight of the fucking year, bro. That was a knockout of the year, I should say. Not fight, because it wasn't a fight. It was just Valdez beating the shit out of Burchout.
Bro, Chuck got hit with the home sweet funeral home, bro. That left hook, bro. I thought he died, my nigga. Do you see how he fell afterwards? Like,
it wasn't a left hook, bro. It was a looping right.
My jaw was open.
No, it was a left hook. It was a left hook.
No, it wasn't. It was a looping right. Remember, he jabbed him. He walked backwards. He jabbed him 2 times. Then he walked him into a looping right. I know because they used it in the intro, bro.
Bro, it's a left hook, bro. I'll bet you $20. Go back and look.
Damn, you talking about the one that slept him?
Yeah, it was a left hook.
Bro, it wasn't a left hook, bro.
Hold on, I'm looking it up now.
Look it up. It wasn't a left. It was a looping right. Or right over the top. That's what he slept him with.
It was a left hook.
It was a looping right, bro.
It's a left hook.
Though. Now, a serious question, fellas. When Ortiz beats Andy Ruiz, How
Bro, I
much?
don't think they're
How
gonna let Ortiz win that fight, bro. I don't think they're gonna let Ortiz win that fight.
because Wilder really wants that Ortiz trilogy.
My God, they not.
That's sick.
I
That's sick.
think all Andy gotta do. I think all Andy gotta do is go 12, and they'll give him the decision, bro. Because it's like, what they gonna do with Ortiz, fam?
I agree.
Really though.
Jules,
What are they
it wasn't-
gonna
Jules,
do?
Why
it
does
wasn't-
Wilder
it wasn't
want that?
left hook.
Why does Wilder want that trilogy though?
Because he know he could keep knocking him out. That's why he keep talking about that shit.
He like
But
Nah,
Jules,
that's
Jules,
what I'm saying.
Jules, it was a left hook. The Valdez slapped him with a left.
Bro, fuck
Maneuvering
both of
Wilder.
y'all. Fuck y'all.
I love-
Fuck all
Can I
y'all.
can I get my 20?
Giving you shit, bro. Fuck that. Aspect, fuck y'all. All of y'all. Anyway.
You ass betting? You know niggas die.
Ow, ass crack betting. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. Nah, bro, I ain't gonna hold you now to answer your question about Ortiz and Ruiz. I honestly think if Ruiz can't beat Ortiz legitimately, he should call it quits
Nah,
himself.
dude, we don't even know what Ruiz we gonna get because one, the last time we seen this fat motherfucker was a year ago. Two,
And
he
he
was
get-
with
and
Eddie. He was with Eddie. He with another motherfucker now. I don't know what the fuck we about to see. I literally don't know.
Is it literally a pick'em fight? Could we say that?
You know what we could say? Ortiz is Ortiz. You know what he gonna do? He looked like shit in his last fight too. That's real.
He
But
did. They
so
both did.
Andy.
They both got dropped.
I'm like, man, I don't know. That's a
Oh, yeah, real?
Yo, they're moving Wilder so he can get the WBA mandatory. That's why he's fighting out. He's gonna be the WBA mandatory. He's
But he
either
number
gonna
one
fight Dubois next.
WBC too.
Yeah, but I guarantee you it's gonna be the WBA. He's gonna go down that route.
Is this fight Millennius an eliminator?
Look, Leighton, I've been saying Shelly and Frank is cool. And Shelly told Frank that he want Daniel Dubois. So if something happened to Andy, watch them make Daniel Dubois versus Deontay Wilder in Las Vegas the same way they did the Fury shit because Frank and Shelly made that fight by themselves. They did that. That whole shit started with just them two.
Yeah, there's definitely some skullduggery going on in the background. So I'm telling you, because they're maneuvering him right, so he's going to be bang in line for the next belt, no matter what, whether it's a WBC or a WBA. He's in line for a title shot.
Jules in chat, I gotta ask you a question. Say if that happens, Daniel Dubois versus Deontay Wilder, and Dubois slump Wilder, what happens to Wilder's career?
It's
what
over.
The
fuck you think happened, Chris?
It's over. It's done. But he's done.
But I'm gonna tell you one motherfucking thing. Let me tell you one motherfucking thing. I'm not big on Wilder. You know that, right?
I know that. Me either.
You know that. You think Daniel got the head movement to avoid that right hand?
No.
Nah.
He don't have it. Like, he could probably hurt Wilder because he's more prolific than Wilder. But what's the rule? The more you open up, the more you open to get hit. Daniel will get slumped, bro. That's why I think.
Yo, and even though he beat the shit out of Brian, like he didn't look impressive.
Brian,
yeah,
bro.
but he didn't look impressive to me while doing it.
All I'm saying, look, y'all know I don't like Wilder, but he's that dude that'll be losing around.
Out of nowhere,
He hit you with some shit and you're not getting up for like a good 2 hours.
And the motherfucker not like I've been watching Daniel. He don't move his head, bro. It's still there. Like, bro, you probably gonna be laying into Wilder or going to lay into Wilder, and you shoot that right, and that'll be it. And that's why Shelly want him. That's why Shelly want him, because he know, like, bro, Wilder sleep him. He young and all that.
I mean, couldn't even get away with a Joe Joyce jab.
Will Daniel come back over here because he never got paid last time he was over in America?
That was because he was fucking with Don King. That's why. If it's a Vegas show, and it's a PBC show, he'll come back.
When I hear about the prospect of Wilder facing Dubois, reminds me something that Steve Kim said, and other guys say before. What fucked up the sport of boxing was the TV network deals.
Yeah.
Because without a TV network deal, they were never talking about a fight like Wilder against Dubois when they perfectly could make Wilder versus AJ the biggest fight.
Look, Wilder versus let me put it to you another way, right? Wilder is currently set to make his next ring appearance on Fox. That means that where you used to fight on Showtime, there was at least enough wiggle room there to send him to another network. So it's not that Wilder can't fight on DAZN. It's that they don't want him to. You the B-side, bro. Ain't no motherfucking, there's no confusion. You are the B-side. You just don't want to accept it. It's a pride thing or whatever, but you the B-side, homeboy. This dude always get more money than you. Always.
Okay, but hear me out. There will not be so much push-up to protect the TV network interesting if there were a contract with those TV networks. Because, look...
Wilder doesn't have an exclusivity deal, Leo. That's what I'm telling you. That it's a moot point. Wilder was not exclusive to Showtime, even though he fought there exclusively. He migrated over to Fox. He's been over there ever since.
Okay, but I'm talking about the PBC in bed with the this TV network with Showtime and Fox, because they are pushing for this fight that there's not in the best interest of this fighter. The best fight, the most money, is with AJ and DAZN, and the only reason they're because they're ganging up against DAZN. They'll get Warren and the PBC. They are gang them up against DAZN because that's the only way they can compete, and they need to compete because they have a TV network deal.
That's exactly what they're doing. Look, you think about it this way, right? You said it better than I could and faster. They are ganging up on DAZN. So Frank will work with Bob. He'll even work with Shelley, with the PBC to some degree. And the PBC will see if they can't work with somebody to some degree, because it's the only way they can compete with a global streaming platform. All y'all cats is local. PBC is a local outfit. Queensbury is a local outfit. Even Top Rank, to an extent, is local. Just because you have a liaison in Sky that, you know, that's your foreign broadcast affiliate. Okay, but you don't actually do shows in the UK. You just have a broadcast partner in the UK. Matchroom, on the other hand, no, that's global. They got a show coming up in Mexico, a show coming up in Saudi, another couple of shows coming up in the UK. Every so often they do a show in Spain. Every so often they do a show in fucking Italy.
Monaco.
Show coming up in Australia. They're global. You don't do shows globally.
It's like Jules. Yeah. It's like they're putting band-aids to prolong the inevitable.
Yeah. But don't get it. Well, listen. Don't get it twisted. Rough Seas is coming because while they individually cannot compete with DAZN, Sky has the potential to become a serious competitor in the next 2 years. They do. And
because they got some talent there too.
Because they got talent there, and they cool with Top Rank.
No, it's funny. Deontay Wilder fought on Top Rank, and but they won't. But Errol Spence won't fight on Top Rank. Crazy, ain't it?
Ain't it though? Sides of the street. Sides
of the streets. Nasty motherfuckers. I hope Terence Crawford beat the dog shit Errol Spence.
Yo, me too.
I think that fight's happening, yo.
I hope Terence beat up
Jules,
his mom.
what about your sources?
I'll put it this way: there's I'm not gonna say I can't say what I was told, but what I will say is one thing that could happen. Not saying that it's going to, because it may not, but one thing that could happen, and I've said this before: if Showtime cannot foot the bill for this fight, Fox can. Fox ain't been spending ridiculous amounts of money on fights. They haven't. Look at what Marcos Villegas said. They're not spending out any money for production value on any of these fights. Now, a fight like Crawford and Spence that may actually yield a return, maybe they'll be willing to spend money on that because they're spending money on Wilder versus Helenius. I have no doubts that they are spending money for that fight. They probably aren't spending any money on Ruiz versus Ortiz, but Wilder versus whatchamacallit, yeah, I think they're spending money on that. Yeah. Because what, Wilder's going to get out there for $3 million? No, come on.
What's his guarantee going to be then, Tszyu? Wilder's, do you think? He's going to have a guarantee,
if I had to guess, and it's just me guessing, I would say Wilder's guarantee is somewhere between 10 and 15.
Yeah, I'd say anywhere from 7 to 15.
Yeah. I could see that because he actually is good for that. Where they fucked up at is, well, you gave him 30, you bozos. You should have gave him 10.
And I gave Fury got 32.
Wilder's comeback fight will determine how quickly Spence and Crawford does get made.
Bro,
What happened?
You know what the other shit is? I'm so over it. I almost forgot that that's a thing. Because I'm like, look, we about to get a good old fight this motherfucking weekend. And then next month, we got my man Cash Money Canelo coming back to retire Eson's boy. Shout out to Eson who's going to pay me my money. Going to retire your boy.
You really hurting off that money really must
Nah,
have
because
you
he on his Golovkin shit. Like, fam, your boy is a hype job. You got to let it fucking go.
And
yeah, he was a hype boy. You got to let it go. That Gennady, I know Canelo got his shit to him. I'm not even saying that he don't. But y'all got to stop thinking that Gennady is the victim in all of this. No, you not. You not. If you saw that, okay, they scored it a draw, even though most people think you won, right? Then you see that he tests positive for clenbuterol. My man, you came back for the second fight, so stop bitching.
Why would you fight? Why would you fight him again? Why would you fight him again after all that?
You chose to get back in bed with a bitch that got herpes.
Boom.
Because think about it like this. If I beat Billy Joe Saunders for Undisputed, am I going to get the same money as fighting Canelo Alvarez? Let's keep it a buck.
I mean, Canelo fight wasn't going nowhere.
It's not about the belts. It was about the money. And let me say this, man.
Y'all not paying attention. The Canelo fight wasn't going to go nowhere. Why? Canelo's stock was in the garbage, not Gennady's. You had the room to be like, yo, Canelo, listen. Suck my dick.
You had the leverage where you could have A-sided him because Canelo needed him more than after that fucking shit, and everybody was putting stakes in Canelo's comment section, syringes.
Bruh, he would have fought Saunders. You come back to Canelo. Listen, Canelo. 50-50, bitch. You need this rematch more than me. I don't got a loss in my
50-50 and no fight.
You do. Floyd beat you. I got a draw in my record. You have a loss already. I don't need this rematch. Fuck you and fuck Oscar and suck dick, bitch. I'd have came back with all them belts. Fuck you, Canelo.
Golovkin should have been the one that should have broke his orbital bone, not Canelo.
Yep.
Straight
by the way,
G.
Jules, country's backstage. I don't know if you want to let
Oh shit, I ain't even see. Liam, let me read the super chat. Liam says Yard must be kicking himself, allowing Warren to turn down that DAZN money now. When will these guys learn? Strike while the iron is hot. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. It ain't like Yard was gonna win in October.
You heard the fight got postponed because Artur's injured again.
Himself. He probably at the pulpit right now, like.
Thank you, God. but y'all, Artur got injured again, y'all.
The best shit that could have happened to him, bro. Like, not only am I not gonna fight him when I do fight him, he coming off an injury. Shit. Lucky dog bastard.
If he got knocked out by a jab from Kovalev, he ain't got no business in there.
Man, I still don't like his chances, country, but you have to admit that because the next time Artur returns, he may be 39 coming over injury.
He'll be 38 in a few months.
Tune-up. I bet you had to have some tune-up you don't even know the guy is. You know what I mean? It's not even
I mean, shit. But I always thought that, like, look, in all honesty, Yard should not be in that fight. To me, the most sensible fight for Yard is Callum Johnson. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Let them fight. Just let them fight.
And then competitive.
You never know. They both could punch.
Yep, that's a good fight.
You know what I mean?
Callum knocked Arthur on his ass. So it was.
Who's the last guy Yard fought?
It was Lyndon Arthur. The Lyndon Arthur rematch.
No, it wasn't Lyndon Arthur. He fought somebody.
He did?
Pull this up, Jules. Rick Merrigan is getting spicy with Tszyu on Twitter right now.
Uh-oh.
Let me see. Hold on.
There we go.
Didn't Tszyu like threaten to shoot somebody recently or have them shot for saying something about him?
You know what Big Punch True Love? You know what Big Punch True Love is? Nigga shit.
What y'all think about Munguia versus John Ryder?
Good fight.
I hope
Big
John
fight.
Ryder knocks Munguia out.
Yeah,
And after he
fight.
knocks him out, I hope he punches him in the dick.
And me
All I
told
know,
Ryder, I hope Ryder upsets him, even though I'm not picking him.
Munguia looks fat as fuck in that new picture with fucking Eric Gomez and Zanfer.
My guy, he going to 68. He ain't even making middleweight for that shit. He going to 68. The rumor that I heard, and it's not finalized yet, but the rumor that I heard was John Ryder, and I'm like, that's not bad. It's not bad. I like
John
Ryder.
always comes to fight. He always gives a good account of himself.
Yeah, like that, and because they're both pressure guys, that'll be a fun fight while it lasts. Somebody probably gonna get knocked out, but that'll be a fun fight. Like Ryder is more durable than Jimmy Kelly, and Jimmy Kelly was giving him a lot of
Rod, he was schooling his ass for 4
He
rounds.
was schooling him, bro, from the outside. So I'm like, John Ryder's more durable than that guy.
But
So,
Jules, like at the end of round 4 in the Kelly, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Where did he come from?
bro, that was but he could look, for what it's worth, he did okay. Like he was
He could box.
That's
yeah,
why
he could box.
He was
Like,
making Jaime look
He beat
dumb,
Callum.
dumb
He beat
stupid.
Callum. I reckon he beat Callum in that fight. John Ryder.
shit. Well, I mean, a lot of people feel that way. I'm in the minority when it comes to this one. It's not that I think John beat him. It's that I would have went for a draw. I feel like John was busier in that fight, but you wasn't landing a lot of that shit. A lot of that shit was landing right here. That's where a lot of that shit was going.
Hey,
But
Don
Why do I
Ramon
love
Champ was
Twitter though?
asking
Because
if,
someone
John
said
Ryder, Don Ramon
oh, Rick
Champ
Mirrigan, you ain't this tough when Josh Taylor pulled up on you.
Hey,
Rick
Jules.
Merrigan says Top Rank is protecting you like a sick, lost puppy with dementia. You know damn well you can't fight any top 140. Pathetic. Arnold Barboza will sign tonight for you. All talk. Ramirez will sign and fight you. Hell, I'll tell Zepeda forget his title and sign tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you what, bro. The weak shit is the Rick shit. Why? You know that boy just got up there. You know he just got up there. So, and he probably going to end up fighting Barboza because if he is coming back in December, he has to fight one of them. It's got to be Barboza or Ramirez. Zapata's busy, but it's got to be between one of them. So he just talking because
Tone's not gonna drop a title shot to fucking fight Tszyu.
what I'm saying, like, come on now, like what you talking about, my guy? Like protecting him, like fam, like you'll get your shot, bro. But don't forget, what does it say about your fighter that he needed to wait for Tszyu to be in a meaningful fight? Then what the fuck have you been doing?
Hey, Jules.
Prograde been at 140. Why ain't he fought him?
Exactly.
Don Ramon the Champ was asking if Ryder had just beat Jacobs, or does he have the wrong guy?
No, he did just beat Jacobs. He did just beat Jacobs. That was the last
By
time.
robbery. By robbery.
Yeah, I had Jacobs winning. I
I do too. I'm not gonna lie. I know he got hurt in the fight. Y'all remember that Ryder video? But I did have Danny on points, and it is what it is, bro. Danny got a gift against Gabe, and then it backfired. The karma came back.
They hit him. By the way, Jules, a villain is trying to get on. Could you put a link for him in the chat?
Nah, because I'm about to go to sleep.
Okay, bye for sure.
It's been 2.5. It's been 2.5
about Daniel Jacobs.
It's been 2 hours and 12 minutes.
I think the problem with Daniel Jacobs, something happened after the Golovkin fight that, in my personal opinion, Daniel Jacobs started to believe it was Terence Crawford. Like
Father time got him. That's what got Jacobs.
Like he had it like that. Because it was after the Golovkin fight, he was starting to fight like he was always the superior fighter. When you were a puncher. You were skilled, but mostly you were a puncher.
He was a puncher. And he started fighting like a boxer.
Yeah, and you were good to hang up for Golovkin for 12 rounds, but not to dominate in the way you think. I think Jacobs thought he won all those fights, but you were getting touched. You never had it like that. Really.
Let's say this, because this is where my take is different. Daniel started making very good money, and I believe that's really what affected him.
Complacency.
Yeah, because he had the Canelo fight.
Yep.
The Canelo fight, and then he got the Chavez fight. I don't know exactly what he made for the fight, but I do imagine he probably got like at least $2 million.
2, if not 3, at least.
Yeah, so you have a Canelo payday, a Chavez payday, you know what I mean? And you're not going to be as motivated. You're not going to be as motivated.
Exactly. It could be hard to stay motivated after that.
Like,
yeah.
He's got at least 15 millions in career earnings.
Yeah, so it's like you're not going to fight with the same intensity. And I'm not, like, everybody's not like that, which is, once again, that's why I respect Leonard. That's why I respect Oscar. That's even Floyd. It take a special fighter to still train, to stay at the top and be at the top, even though you are the money. You the money. Canelo is the money. But he's still, you know.
You can't teach the competitiveness. Oscar, Floyd, Usyk, even AJ, these dudes.
Motherfuckers talking all this shit about Canelo losing to Dimitri. Yeah, he did get outboxed. But your man that you like your Charlo and these punks and these herbs, they don't go the distance with Dimitri.
Think about it like this, Jules. Even Tom Brady about to be 45. He takes less money.
You can't get Tom Brady to stay home, bro.
No, he takes less money. He don't even get paid he don't even get paid what he's worth, so the team could be good because he want to compete.
Bro, you got Giselle Bundchen at home bending over and picking up shit. Nah, I gotta go play, bro. It's Sunday. I got to go play. I need to play. All right? It's certain shit. And I'm like, if you think about the sequence of paydays that Daniel Jacobs had, at least for me, that characterizes why he started looking complacent. He was complacent in the Gabriel Rosado fight. He did look complacent in the Ryder fight a bit. They're like, yo, turn up, bro. Turn it up, bro. Like, hit that other gear that you hit with Gennady. And I feel like the reason you couldn't hit it, you've been getting great money, and you don't
civilized.
Yeah, like you don't really want to be here right now.
He's not hungry no more. He lost that hunger. You know?
Yeah, like you don't really want to be after all that money. Like I don't know specifically what he made for Canelo, but let's just say that he made 7, and that out of the 7, you know, he probably got 4, maybe 3, because you know it's my understanding a lot of that goes to expenses, training expenses, yada yada yada. So out of the 7, you probably got 3. Maybe you got 3 with Chavez, and out of the 3, you got 1. And it's like, yo, this is a cat from BK. This is a regular dude from BK. That's a lot of bread. And I'm sure
Brownsville too, dude.
And I'm sure that he not a dumb dude neither. I'm sure he did something with the bread to keep getting bread. You're not gonna fight the same. You've been getting all that money. You're not gonna fight with the same intensity because you got bread, and that's what you were fighting for bread. Other cats is fighting for something different. It's not just bread to them.
In my opinion, Jacobs fights the four last fights of Daniel Jacobs was seeing a guy that thinks too much of himself in respect of his skills. Because all that switch hitting, all that feints and post looks. It's not like you overcompensating. It's like you think you're always the superior boxer. Even with Canelo, you never turn it up. Even with Gabriel.
But bro, you gotta think.
And you were saying
chemotherapy. It's like chemotherapy. It's gonna take a toll on his body, mate. You know what I mean?
Well, you know why we can't say that, bro? Because all of that happened. The stuff that he had, and God bless him for still being able to beat that. But he fought with intensity against Peter Quillen, bro, and that was after all of that. Did he stop him? Did he stop him in a round? In other words, the 2 Sergio Mora fights that he had, the Peter Quillen fight, Daniel Jacobs, the Gennady Golovkin fight, all of that was well after he had beat the spinal shit that he had going on. So we can't say that, it took some out of him and he not the same. No, the very best version we saw of him was after all of that. To me, it was the money. The difference that I seen in Daniel Jacobs was after the Canelo fight. Even when he fought Sergey. Remember when he fought Sergey? He was sharp. He dropped Sergey.
Oh, boy. Fury fan in the comments.
Let me see.
Oh, shit.
It don't matter how much he makes. He's always a...
You want to put the link in for this dude, or you want to go to sleep?
Nah, I'm going to sleep, bro.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that.
That's why I went Alonzo on
everybody knows
y'all.
what happened to the Tank fanboy. Everybody knows what happened to the Tank fanboy that jumped on him. Not wise.
Listen, Tyson Fury not built for it because he got to retire 2-3 times just to stay unbeaten. He got to get a gift over McDermott to stay unbeaten, bro. He not built for it, bro. I'm sorry.
You had to use illegal tactics against Steve Cunningham, who put him on his ass. Can you please go home, bro?
Your man got sat on his back pocket by a cruiserweight. Matter of fact, before that, your man got sat on his back pocket by Nevin Pajcik. You probably don't even know who Nevin Pajcik is. Stop it.
Just like most people don't know. Just like most people don't know.
Cruiserweight, then this is what I'm.
I like punching cruiserweight too.
This is why I say that AJ never got a fair shake from the get. Why? If it was him getting dropped by a cruiserweight, he wouldn't get the pass that Fury, like, fam, you got a gift with McDermott, you got dropped 2 times, you retire whenever it's convenient to retire. Come on, B. Come on.
And the parallel between the Fury fans.
And I got no way, but listen, bro, the only reason you saying that, Alexis, is because he's with Top Rank. You wasn't saying that in 2015. The only reason you go up to bat for Fury is because he's with Top Rank. Let me talk. The only reason you going up to bat for Fury so much and running interference for Fury so much is only because he's with Top Rank. You wasn't doing. I remember we was talking. We was all in the Facebook boxing groups back then. You wasn't saying that about Fury. The only reason you're defending him is because he's with Top Rank. No, and you know better. You know better. If you got to retire that much and you got to angle that much, it's not because you're the best of our time. You lost to McDermott. I don't think you saw that fight, Alexis, and you're going to tell me that you don't care or that it doesn't matter. No, it fucking does matter that you lost already, and because people weren't watching you back then doesn't change that. You lost to a fucking fat club fighter.
You know what I love about this,
himself
Eric
in the
Jules?
face.
I love the revisionist history on how we compare.
Because that's what it is. I've known these things about Fury for years.
We go back to like how do we judge Joe Louis and all these other great? We judge them by their longevity and the run they have dominating the division and defending being the top dog. You can't even say Fury defended being the top dog for a sustained amount of time. He beat Wilder. That's it. He beat fucking Wilder.
Listen, if Bobo doesn't take the Yanni back fight, his head is going to be a duck somebody. See, now I'm about to end up staying here for a half hour. Let me say this. I'm not
Wow. Wow.
Yo, get him off the thing because
that's what I'm saying. I'm not
gonna get him
off. No, he came here. Listen, he came here because I said things that irritated him. So let me continue to do that. All right, your boy is a ped cheat. He needed pads for fucking Christian Hammer. Am I lying? He didn't test positive for nandrolone for Christian fucking Hammer. He was scared to death of Ustinov and Pulev. Scared to death. Pulled out of both of those fights with corny ass excuses. Always got an excuse for something. Fury is not the best of our time. He's the best angler of our time as far as heavyweights. He's the best angler because everything with him is an angle. You lost to McDermott. It doesn't matter if you were a prospect 10-fight pro. You still lost to a club fighter. You did lose. All the papers at the time, they was talking like, yo, this is one of the worst decisions that ever happened on British soil. That's what the headlines were because you fucking lost. And I didn't forget. Alexis wasn't paying attention at that time.
I just can imagine what he'd be saying if Fury was with Eddie Hearn and not Top Rank.
Exactly. The only reason you defending Fury is because he's a top-ranked fighter. That's the only reason. And I don't care about you saying you don't care. I don't care if you don't care. I'm speaking facts. You an androlone cheat. You had to tell the UCAD people I was sucking boar balls, and they didn't believe you. When they didn't believe you, you had to retire. You a fraud. You a fraud.
Even the farmer,
fucking fraud.
Even the farmer said Fury's excuse was bullshit.
Fucking Fury is a fraud, bro. What you think? Because he beat Wilder, that make him special? Because you think people that haven't been keeping up with Fury, because you think they bought the gimmick. You think you right? You wasn't watching Fury back then. You wasn't. And you only fucking with him now because Bob signed him.
Why
Bob
does Alex?
Bob's losing all that money on him too.
Why
Hey,
is
come
Bob?
on, man, what kind of argument we having? Like, if I get to the crux of why Alexis is defending Fury, it's not because Alexis believes these things about Fury. The only real reason he's defending him is because Bob signed him. That's it. That's
Why
all.
did he fuck with Bob so crazy? Then? Why
Look,
he
I
fuck with
like
Bob?
Bob too. I like Bob too, but I cannot formulate an argument where I ignore all this angling and try to prop up Fury to be something that I know that he's like. No, fam, you not all that. You not all that. I've been saying whatever they think about Fury is not because of the Klitschko fight. Everything they say about Fury is relating to him beating a protected hype job. That's all it's about. People don't derive their opinions of Fury because of this Cunningham fight. No, he got dropped in that fight. It ain't because of the McDermott fight, because every knows he lost that
It
fucking
ain't because
fight.
of Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin.
It's not because of them, because those are nobodies. Every postmodern opinion about Fury you hear is about him beating Wilder, who was never that good to begin with. And that didn't change because you got excited about their trilogy. Those two men were in a bubble for the last 3 years because they know they can't hack it if they get out there. If they get out there, they'll have 2 and 3 losses. Fury should already have 1. And I'm not going to revise history like I don't know better. I know you lost the McDermott fight.
And I know you ran from the fucking Klitschko rematch that was contractually obligated.
Pulled out on Pulev. He pulled out on Ustinov.
David
Do
Price.
you think they would let Anthony Joshua pull out on Pulev and Ustinov?
I think he pulled off because he didn't cycle off in time.
I didn't say nothing about Dillian White. That's how weak. Don't say nothing. That's how weak the argument you have is. You bringing up a fighter I wasn't even defending. But the argument, here's the fun part. The argument you're bringing up is so nonsensical because White pulled out of the Wallin fight to fight who?
Hello. Oh man. Oh wow.
Childish, fam.
Mic drop.
Childish.
You know what he's doing? He's doing what Espinosa.
Me and Alexis agree on a lot of things. It's not like we don't. We do agree on a lot of things. But this is one of those times where he's only towing the company line on this one. Like, fam, you want me to think of Fury in a way that I'm not going to think of him because I followed his career. You didn't. You didn't start caring about Fury till Bob signed him. I knew everything about Fury already. I knew all of that. That he's not all that. That's why I've been saying for 3 years, most of what you hear about Fury is not even about Fury. It's about him beating a hype job that was protected for years. And you think that because some people bought it, that makes the argument stronger. No, it's not. It's not. Wilder always had a weak resume. Always. You fought no one for 7 years. You needed 7 years and 32 fights for Bermain Stavern? Come on.
That Dillian White comment is just what Steven Espinosa did on Twitter a few hours ago. Same shit. Talking about something that we're not even talking about.
Yeah, like come on. Like that's not Fury's resume is okay. What is my problem with his resume? You don't show the consistency of a Joe Louis, of Vladimir Klitschko, who you beat, at the tail end of his career, 38.
I got a question for you.
You love talking about how all AJ beat was old fighters. Bro, when AJ fought Povetkin, he was younger than Vladimir when you fought him.
I got a question, Jules. When you was in high school, did you do forensics?
Oh, no. I got kicked out of 3 high schools.
I got kicked out too. But you could tell right away, you would have been great at forensics and debate.
Oh, yeah.
You just eviscerated his argument in one rebuttal.
Because I know where he's coming from. And you could like Top Rank. Like, I'm not telling him his views don't have to align with mine. But when you say that stuff, it's like you challenging me. And if you're going to challenge me, I'll be like, well, fam, the only reason you bigging up Fury is because Bob signed him. Because you wasn't bigging him up in 2015. I know. Because I was there in those groups. You didn't have this opinion of Fury. You didn't. No one did at that time. because he was in an awful fucking fight that nobody goes back to rewatch. Nobody goes back to rewatch Fury and Klitschko. It was a terrible fucking fight.
He struggled against Derek Chisora the first fight. A lot of people fail to realize that too.
Alexis, you saying I mentioned Valine, right? And that's why you brought up Dillian. So tell the whole story. Yes, White pulled out on Valine to fight who?
Tyson Fury.
You mentioned Valine as indicator that doesn't make Tyson Fury an all-time great by beating the Otto Valines of the world. That has nothing to do with Dillian White.
Now,
mind you, he should have 2 losses.
Now, Alexis, you saying you wasn't watching the heavyweights because the era sucked. Well, that era is Tyson Fury's era. He's not from this era. That's how I know that you didn't. That's how I knew off top. You don't care about Tyson Fury. You're just towing the company line because the era that you think sucks, that's the era he's from. Tyson Fury debuted in 2008. He's not from the AJ era. Neither is Wilder. They're both hype jobs. It's just one is a bigger hype job than the other. And one hype job fought the other, and he beat him. Like, I'm sorry, but if you need that much angling, you not what you say you are. Because the real fighters, the really good ones, they have losses. Because they fight everyone. Ali has losses because he fought everyone. Larry Holmes has losses because he fought everyone. They had to steal it from him against fucking Michael Spinks. They had to steal it from him, but he fought everyone. Right. George Foreman has losses because he fought everyone. Tyson Fury, like, fam, yeah, you good, but I know if they let you out there, you lose too. You lose too. You only unbeaten because you retire whenever the fuck you feel like. And guys like Alexis let you get away with it.
By the way, Joe,
I didn't know Fury had this many fans, but he still loses money for Bob. That's what I'm saying. He loses all this money for Bob and Frank, but he's this huge star.
He doesn't have fans. Like, everything. The only reason, which is why I don't feel like making it a whole debate. The only reason Alexis is going up to bat for Fury is because Bob signed him. That's it. You can dress it up and decorate it however you like. You don't fool me. You weren't watching Fury. You weren't. You admitted that much. You said the era sucked. That's the era he came up in. This is the second phase of his career. He had a first phase. I know you missed it. And that's why you don't want to accept that he's not what you think he is. You didn't watch him come up. All this fucking angling all the time. Always a fucking angle. It's ridiculous. Why would you, if you're what they say you are, why would you always need the angle all the time? Is that what Ali did? No. Is that what fucking Larry Holmes did? No. None of them did all that bitch shit.
How many fights has he had in this era? 5, 6?
3 of them with the same fucking guy.
Exactly. So he's part of that old era. Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't even say you're the best of this era because you ain't even fought none of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, now I'll say this much. I'm not an asshole. If he goes in there and he beats Usyk or the winner of AJ versus Usyk, whoever, of course I'm gonna give him his props. I'm not fucked up. But I know the angling, and you can't rewrite history, bro. You don't get here to this point without all the bullshit you did, without all the smoke and the mirrors. For example, would Wilder have made it to 32-0 to the Stavern fight if he would have been fighting guys like Pulev and fighting guys like Derek?
Absolutely
not.
No.
We can't rewrite history. You spent 7 years fighting absolutely no one. And that's why you were unbeaten for such a long time. That's why. It wasn't because there wasn't anybody to fight. There were 2 Klitschko brothers.
When Fury fought Klitschko, Wilder had the belt then? I can't remember. It was still Vitaly still had it, huh?
No, he had won it. Wilder had won it at the beginning of 2015, and Vladimir had lost to Fury towards the end of 2015.
Yep.
Yeah, so
hey guys,
Wilder could have had undisputed before Fury fought Vlad, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, that's my problem with Wilder. Y'all remember when he wasn't even champion, he stopped undisputed by refusing to take a step aside deal. I mean.
Let me address the comment. It's not personal, bro. It's not like it's not personal between me and Fury. I'm just saying that you can't see all this over time and fool your like. I cannot fool myself into believing that Fury is what they say he is when I know you needed Peds just for Christian Hammer. You needed Peds for that, bro. You needed Nandrolone for Christian Hammer?
I don't think nobody's attacked Fury personally. It's all based on the facts of what's happened in his career. That's it.
Yeah, like I don't believe that the premier heavyweight or the greatest heavyweight of this era, I don't believe that, yo, fam, you needed Nandrolone for this guy? That's it. You don't think that that's a little bit crazy? You needed Nandrolone for Christian Hammer, who went on to do absolutely nothing.
Let's keep it a buck too. Also, remember when Tyson Fury fought out of Wallin? Let's bring up Wallin again, right? That cut, if it wasn't him getting, that treatment, he should have 2 losses on his resume.
Any other fighter I have seen, and this is why people hear me say this, and they no, it's not hate. I followed his career, right? Where a lot of these people that are avid Fury fans, they didn't start watching him really until he came back. I was paying attention the whole time. Like, look, Fury's a good boxer. He is a good boxer, but he's not what they say he is. No, he's not. Because if you were, you don't need all this. You got dropped by a cruiserweight, bro. And that ain't the first time you got dropped. You should have a loss in the column, but you don't. You used Peds for the Christian Hammer fight, and when it caught up, you retired, bro. So you could skip out and wait out Vladimir's rematch clause also. You were waiting for that to expire. And when he was gone and the coast was clear, you came back. Why? Because you're not what they say you are. You're not. And if you were, you would have several losses in the column already.
Let's keep it a buck. Wilder, Fury really didn't start getting the attention until after the second Wilder fight when he knocked him out.
Yep, that's it. That's
and Drew, what do you always hear me say? Well, it's not if, Alexis. He did get popped for Nandrolone, bro. He did get popped for Nandrolone. The British tabloids themselves, that I'm sure you had no idea, they called the decision in his fight with John McDermott one of the worst decisions to take place on British soil, a highway robbery in broad daylight. That's what the headlines were. And because you all of a sudden started following, that doesn't change that. You're only saying what you're saying because of Bob, not even because of Fury. Which is why you can't formulate an argument around, well, I like Bob, so I'm going to like Fury. No, we can't rewrite history on that premise. I'm sorry. We can't. The premier heavyweights, in every era that had a premier heavyweight, they didn't need to do all that over guys like Christian Hammer, bro. You needed Nandrolone to feel confident enough to share the ring with Christian fucking Hammer.
That's like Tyson juicing for Peter McNeely.
Exactly. Imagine
he said in the comments that it's just about the Wallin fight. He said if that was anybody else, that fight would have been stopped off a cut.
But even if I don't go off the Wallin fight, I'm talking about the McDermott fight, and no Fury fan likes to address that. They're like, your boy got away with highway robbery, and that's why guys like me don't think he all that.
You know why they don't like to address it, Jules? Because they didn't watch him then.
Of course not. Of course not. Everything. What have I maintained the last couple of years? Everything that these Fury fans, supposed Fury fans, think about Fury is relating to him beating a hype job that they all know is a hype job. You can't defend it, bro. 7 years of tune-ups and tomato cans, no, you can't defend that, bro. AJ was fighting for a title after 3 years. He was a late starter the same way that Wilder was a late starter, but he didn't need 7 years of club fighters to fight for a title. These guys wouldn't make it to here if they weren't as protected as they were. And that's always been the point that I've maintained, that some of these fighters have had it harder because they didn't intermittently retire and abscond for years from the sport. Y'all let Fury get away with that for some reason. I don't know why. That shit is crazy to me. Don't get mad at me for bringing up the shit. It's not like I'm lying. Who, Wilder? I don't know if Wilder's in the hole. I don't know. On one end, I see an argument that could get him in, And that's because he had, 10 title defenses.
Against whom?
That might get him in. That might.
If we're going based on who he actually beat, and if you break down the nuance of his resume, hell no.
It's more like you want me to be disingenuous, like I don't know Wilder's resume. Who did you knock out, bro? Who do you beat? Gerald Washington, Artur Spilka,
Chris Arreola.
You paid
Stiverne again. These are his title defenses. Stiverne again after 2 years of inactivity. Remember, Stiverne shouldn't even been in that goddamn ring. The man hadn't fought in 2 years.
You pay Malik Scott to take a dive. Like,
Malik Scott.
Exactly. Him too.
Like, fam, and you want me to act like I don't see that because Bob signed Fury.
And you pointed this out earlier when we started the chat. Why do they hold AJ to this fucking crazy standard? But these two dudes is every excuse in the book.
That's what I've maintained throughout, that if Fury had the road and Wilder had the road that AJ had, y'all would have been done. Y'all would have had a couple of losses in the column already because y'all don't take on all comers. See, this
is how ridiculous this is because we got both Fury and Wilder picking Joshua to lose Usyk, right? But if he does win and actually knock Usyk out, you think they're going to give him credit for it?
No, they're not.
Oh, you beat up a cruiserweight. You beat up a middleweight.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. When they were picking him to lose the fucking fight.
Yeah,
don't you find it funny though, Jules? Every time AJ fights, that's when them two fucking clowns get the loudest.
Exactly. And that's when their fans get the loudest. If I tell Alexis, for example, that all Fury did was lose Bob's money, ain't no argument there. You don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. You want me to accept him, which is why you're arguing. You want me to accept him as the premier guy. Nah, I don't, because I know his career better than you do. What you know about him is that he signed to Bob. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important shit. He signed to Bob. I don't give a shit if he signed to Bob. I was watching that motherfucker when he was with Mick Hennessy. You didn't even know who he was.
Now the Fury freaks and geeks coming out saying AJ's a bodybuilder in the chat. Yo, can we just stop this stream and because I'm not trying to deal with this.
I don't know, B.
Jules, it's your call, man.
Oh no, I mean I'm gonna talk my shit. Like all right, let me put it to you another way, right? When you start seeing a proliferation of people like that in the comments, it's because you're bothering them. You can't bother me. I'm gonna talk my shit. Fury is not what y'all think he is. He lost to fucking John McDermott. Ain't enough comments in this thing. Enough comments you believe that's going to change that.
The comments aren't being refuted with facts. It's all anecdotes and opinions. That's how you know they mad.
Real shit.
Fury
will stop Usyk and then what? Oh, wait a minute. Is this the guy that just said if? But you hitting me with a will. If that man retire, bro, and he don't, listen, I'm just warning you, Alexis. If he stay retired and he doesn't fight Usyk, I'm coming after you, bro. I'm gonna come after you. That these are the kind of people that ruin boxing. Why? They prop up hype jobs and trash the real fighters, the good fighters. You better hope he fights Usyk.
By the way, Jules, let me ask you this. Okay, so Joe Joyce, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua. If Tyson Fury took on all three of those guys, does he beat them all?
Say it again.
Joe Joyce, Alexander Usyk, and Anthony Joshua. If Tyson Fury fought those three fighters in a row, does he beat them all?
And one thing that guys never account for is time. When you wait for fighters to start losing, while you've been coasting on easy street, being retired and waiting for people to feel fucking sorry for you, well, of course you're gonna face a more vulnerable version of the fighter. You waited till they got beat. When Anthony Joshua was an unbeaten, unified champion, you had two options. You could have pursued him for more money or Wilder. You know why you chose Wilder. We've always, because it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier with Wilder.
Cherry.
He did duck.
He literally said...
he did duck him. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He literally said, I fooled Al Heyman. I made them think that all I wanted was a couple of quid. I wanted Wilder. Well, he said that. That's your man, B.
But at the same time, you had the chance to fight Joshua. as well.
He had to
And
be.
Matchroom was gonna pay him good money too.
Yeah.
And I bet you that he would have lost. I bet you that he would have lost.
AJ probably would have slept him.
Yep.
Bet you he would have lost because all this shit that you see about Fury and what they saying, lest we forget, right? Alexis will look at Fury knocking out White as some kind of big deal. Well, AJ did it first, and he did it when White was an unbeaten fighter before he ever even got knocked out.
Yes,
and you don't give him credit for that. You don't give him credit for that. He slept Povetkin. Well, he knocked his ass out. Like, he ain't cold sleep him, but he knocked his ass out. That victory aged well because only a handful of motherfuckers ever beat Alexander Povetkin.
How many times he lost? 3 times?
Shout to Mr. Doc in the chat. Shout to Lisa Bills.
Yeah, I mean, only a handful. Like you really trying to prop up. You really trying to prop up Fury for avoiding consistency, which is what makes all-time greats great. It's consistency. When Ali left the sport, it wasn't because mental health, I'm depressed. Man, fuck your depression, bro. I don't give a shit.
Hental Melf, baby. It's Hental Melf, baby.
Hental Melf, yo.
The man had Hental Melf issues, but had no clinical diagnosis.
You got a whole country trying to exile my man because he don't want to go shoot at the Viet Cong. And he wasn't depressed. Fuck that shit.
I mean, Alexis, why
Fuck
can't
that lame shit?
Why can't he come to America and fight then if he's a such star? Like, what's going on now?
Yeah, yo, Wild Fury can't come to the US of A, bro. I thought this was his adopted home.
Look, I think there is no point in. Look, imagine Fury has to fight AJ, Joyce, Kurgovic, Usyk.
Yep.
And wondering if he win all those fights. I think there is no point in asking for that question because he will never take all of those fights.
Thank you. Fury is not that kind of fighter, bro. He never was. He was never consistent, which is why I was never a big fan. Like, fam, you not consistent. Everything with you is an angle. We had to go through a whole goddamn production just for you to fight Dillian White.
Add to what Leo's saying. In his entire career, how many mandatories has Fury fulfilled in fighting?
One
fucking man. That's not the measure of a fucking heavyweight champion dominating the era.
Need I say more? Like, you think like why do I fuck with AJ? He satisfied a bunch of mandatories. I never had to wonder if he wanted to fight with Fury. Yeah, I gotta wonder, bro. You unbeaten. You only 30-something years old. You already trying to get out of here, bro. Come on, like, you think Fury gonna stick around and fight Hergovic and Joyce and Jalalov and Arslanbek Mahmoud? No, of course not.
Everything's a fucking angle. You said, "Oh yeah, just got off the phone with the Saudi prince, 500 million. It's official." Next day, it's like, oh, fighting Wilder.
That's why I can't.
Sorry, my bad, guys. Then he's doing cannonballs in a swimming pool and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, that's why I can't. Like, that's why I can't fuck with Fury because I'm like, bro, the only reason you got this far was from doing sucker shit, and that is not gonna change because you can't go back in time. You only made it this far unbeaten from doing sucker shit. You told the judge you ate boar balls, bro.
And then you fucked it all up by saying thank you, Daniel Kinahan, for doing all this.
Hey, I ain't say he ain't gonna fight Usyk. I just said you better hope he does. I didn't say he is or isn't. I just said you better hope he does. You better hope.
Yeah, I like that.
You better hope that he lives up to your word. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what the man is gonna do. His head is a bag of cats. I don't know what the fuck he gonna do.
I like that theory. I like that.
That cokehead. Coke Ogre's gonna do.
Hey, Jules, when you fucking cut that up, his head is a bag of cats. Make sure you put the little Garfield graphic up there, eating spaghetti or something.
Yeah, like I don't know what that Coke monster gonna do. He might retire. He might. I don't know. I don't know. And that's the problem. If you were what they say you are, I would know. If you was like. For real. Like, nah, you not cut from that Lennox Lewis cloth, bro. Just because you unbeaten, fuck out of here, bro. That don't mean like.
Y'all know what Lennox said when he was asked, like, I think he was asked recently who would win prime for prime, him or Tyson Fury, And he said he just laughed and said, "I think you guys know the answer to that question." But what I will say
We do
is
know
that,
the answer to that question. Listen,
I mean-
listen. I gotta go. I gotta turn the camera on for this, bro.
Turn it on. We're ready for the close up.
Bro. Steve Cunningham put this man on his ass. What you think Lennox would have did to him?
Hello.
Nevin Pajcik put this man on his ass.
Swiss
What
cheese,
you think, Lennox?
Swiss cheese.
What you think?
Swiss
What do you
cheese.
think, Lennox? And that's two separate versions of Fury. One was a prospect, and one was a contender. Let's go back, further back. All right, prospect. Fury needed a gift to maintain an unbeaten record. After that, he fights Nevin Pajcik. He gets sat on his back pocket. Fast forward a couple of fights, he becomes a legitimate world-class contender. You getting floored by cruiserweights, bro. So what do you think, Lennox Lewis? And you expect me to believe that he's of the same? No, fam. No, you're not cut from that. That's why you depressed. Yo, I'm going to go further. That's why I think Fury depressed. Because underneath it all, he knows I'm a fraud.
I ain't what they say. I ain't shit. I ain't all
I
that.
firmly believe that. That's why he don't like AJ. Win or lose, AJ is what he says. Yo, I just want to fight for all the belts, bro. I never said I was perfect. I never said I wouldn't lose. In fact, I did say I might lose one day, and y'all criticized me for that, for being honest. That, yeah, one day I might lose. I don't want to, but I think about it. He honest, and you not. You a fucking phony.
That's
You
why I
ain't
love
give
it.
no money to no fucking charity. You just got to he's still trying to get people to
Peace
like
out,
him.
guys.
For me, it's crazy how people talk about Fury. Like, let's take Canelo for example. Canelo, we can say very fairly that Canelo is the favorite to everyone at middleweight and super middleweight.
Yep.
Why? Because he has been fighting at the elite level
For a
a
long
lot,
time. Consistently.
all the time, consistently. He beat Golovkin. He beat all the guys that had belts and super middleweight. So we have an argument to say Canelo is a favorite.
Yep.
He's gonna beat all these guys, most surely. But with Fury, we have at the elite level, we have Vladimir Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, and Dillian White.
That's
and
it.
that's all you need to be the favorite to beat all of these guys. It's
Thank
amazing.
you. It's like the bar. They deliberately, Alexis, like many others, they deliberately set the bar so low for Fury, and they get mad when everybody doesn't go along with it. When I'm like, fam, the bar was always high. Tyson, one of my favorite heavyweights of all times. I always bring this up. 8 out of the top 10, the current top 10 in his time, he fought 8 of them. No, not I fought Wilder, so I don't have to fight nobody no more, or I don't have to fight you. No, he fought 8 out of 10. You not from that. If you don't get to leave and do your stupid Fury shit, bro, you lose. One of them again. I know it because that's just boxing in general. If you stick around long enough, you're gonna start losing. The only reason you didn't start losing, you mad particular.
Talk about it, Jules. To expand on what you're saying, Tyson did that. Fury has fought only one legitimate all-time great Hall of Famer, and that was at the end of his career.
At 38, then has the nerve to turn around and say, oh, all AJ fought were old guys. Povetkin was practically the same age as Vlad when you fought him. Is that a lie? No, it's not. It's the truth. Because you want to prop up a phony just because Bob signed him. You could do that on your channel, but don't tell me that shit. I know why it's because Bob signed him. So because Bob signed him, he has to be the greatest thing ever. No, Bob only even comes into it in the third act of Fury's career. The third act. That's when the second act. That's when he comes into it. McHennessy fighter, it's Matt Anglin, bro. You had to avoid a lot of shit to get to where you are right now. And that's why I don't got that respect for Fury. Nah, I ain't gonna have it. I respect Lennox more for losing to McCall and running it back than I will ever respect Fury.
But Julius, it's great. Look, if you want to tell me where Fury is the favorite to defeat all these guys, champions and uppercomers, okay, that's a little bit too far but I may agree. But all time, Tyson Fury, after beating Vladimir, Wilder, and
Who
Dillian
put
White,
him up?
he's one of the best heavyweight fighters of all time.
That's what I mean. Like if you talking about a list where you got like Joe Louis, and Sonny Liston, and Muhammad Ali, and Floyd Patterson, and Larry Holmes, and Mike Tyson, and Lennox, where I'm gonna put Fury? He got to be at the bottom of some shit. Like where I'm gonna put Fury, bro?
I remember after the third fight when he knocked out Wilder, right? I came across an article that was comparing him to Ali, and I'm like, wait a minute, all he did was just knock out a guy who he beat easy last time, and that makes him comparable to Ali now.
He sat in a bubble with the same dude. He sat in a bubble with the same dude for 3 years, and for that, Alexis wants me to think of him as being up. Like, no, like you wilding, bro. Wilder was not Foreman as much as Wilder wasn't Foreman. Why was Foreman such a frightening figure? Look at what he did to an unbeaten Joe Frazier, an Olympian, a champion.
Ragdolled him.
In what was it? 2 rounds?
Dropped him 6
knockdowns. Six knockdowns in 2 rounds.
Look what he did to Ken Norton. Look what he did to Ken Norton. Same 2 rounds too. Destroyed him in 2 rounds.
He was like Wilder is not Fury's Foreman. You know, like no, like fuck. People didn't just think, oh yeah, he's a hard puncher. People thought Ali was gonna die. This is different shit, bro. They thought Ali was gonna die. They thought Foreman was gonna kill him.
Did you hear Howard Cosell giving like a eulogy?
Bro, he was
Ali was gonna die?
2 dick hairs away. It sounded like he was reading a fucking obituary. Muhammad Ali is survived by his wife and his grandson.
He was about to get executed. But what happened?
Y'all in such a hurry. This is how the mediocrity of this era is highlighted by how hard they try to prop up these lames and con men and cornballs. Fury is not no Ali cloth. He ain't Larry Holmes cloth. He ain't Michael Spinks cloth. Because at least Michael fought the most frightening man at the time. No bitch. And Michael wasn't even a goddamn real heavyweight. But he went up there and he took his beating. Fury, you can't keep an unbeaten record without retiring 1,000,000 fucking times.
Jules, let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this. If Alexander Usyk became the mandatory for his WBC belt, I think we all know what he does with that title.
He chucks the shit. Chucks the shit.
And the worst thing of all, there is no need to rush to conclusion because we have the fighters and we can make the fights happen. They can make it. Okay, you beat Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, you have now Deontay Wilder, AJ, and Usyk. So the only thing you need to do to at least have it's not a really good argument, but you have an argument to say, I am the best heavyweight boxer on my era, is defeat those guys.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, and you retire.
But I'll say this, because this is how low the bar is, right? Let's say that Fury lives up to Alexis's expectations, comes out of retirement, he beats Usyk. Oh, you think because you're undisputed, you're up there with Ali? You do realize that Muhammad Ali defended the undisputed crown several times. Several. He didn't just win it. Well, I'm done now. I'm getting out of it. Several times. Because that's the measure of greatness. You not up there. You always in a hurry to make off like a bandit because that's what you are. A bandit. And you're
going to tell me a dude that don't even have 40 fights, you're going to compare him to guys in the 15-round era?
You know what I mean? Like, this is why I say that we shouldn't be sitting here on the eve of a mega match, right? We shouldn't be sitting here even wondering if Fury wants that fight, not if you are what they say you are, but we are wondering. We are. Because you did announce your retirement. Either you're a fucking idiot or something. Who knows, right? But the greats, no, we didn't have to wonder if they wanted to be. Like, we didn't. In fact, going undisputed was expected. Like, it was so expected, you didn't have to wonder. You didn't have to wonder if Tyson wanted that. or if Lewis wanted that, or if Larry Holmes wanted. You didn't have to wonder. That's shit. That's a given. Like, yeah, what the fuck you think I'm here for?
Here's the thing. Going undisputed was a prerequisite. The measure of greatness was how long can you sit on top.
Now, if Fury were to fight Usyk, right? He beats Usyk. What would I say? Yes, he is this era's premier heavyweight. If he does that, of course I would have to give him that. I'm not a hater, but is becoming undisputed, right? Just that. Does that make you an all-time great? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Ali defended the undisputed crown several times. That's who you want to put him up there with, right? All right, well, you got to do some Ali shit, bro. After you become undisputed, here's what, if you were what they say you are, here's what you would do. You would defend that title against Filip Hrgovic and Joe Joyce
Bro, Jules,
and Bakatir Jalilov and Arslanbek Makhmudov. You would leave no stone unturned if you were like that. But we know you're not. We know you're not going to do that. That's what Ali did, though. Shit. That's what he did. And y'all want to compare him to Ali. My dick.
Bro, Ali had 19 fucking title defenses at heavyweight when he was the fucking man. Get the fuck out of here, Alexis. 19.
Larry Holmes had something like 21. How many did Joe Louis have? Because he holds the record. What is it, 25? And y'all want to compare Fury, who defended an alphabet title once, to that. Joe Louis has about 25 title defenses of his title. Larry Holmes has about 21. Ali, you said 19. Fury ready to get out of Dodge after one.
And those are 15-round fighters, Jules.
Like, fam, stop propping up these. Like, matter of fact, prop him up, but just do it on your channel, because I'm not buying it, bro. I'm not. Like, and you're not even old. You're not old, fam. Like, Fury ain't 35. Nah, he not old. You want to leave. I know why you want to leave. Because you're not what they say you are. That's why.
No, but if you want to be precise, we have to say it. Tyson Fury, he didn't defend the title one time. He defended 2 times. Once against a guy that already beat, but still, there was 2 times he defended the title.
Yeah, that's fair. He has 2 title defenses. Goated.
Compared to how many?
Fellas, and he defended it against the hardest punching heavyweight ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I'm like, yo, dog, like, and then Wilder, bro, listen, your title, listen. You go back, right? You look at guys like Sonny Liston, right? These guys. You look at even Rocky. You got to give Rocky credit too, because he's a hard punching son of a bitch. And you just go back and you look at these 15-round fighters, and you realize, like, yo, dog, nah, homie, you crazy. You not fucking with that. That you just not fucking with that, bro. And nah, in no way. You trying to make off like a bandit because you know if I stick around, they gonna get me. That's why you keep trying to leave. And that was never, being unbeaten was never the measure. Oh, yeah, well, he's unbeaten, so he must. No, that's not how it works. Fuck out of here.
This is how it works. Ali stuck around and fought a prime Foreman that came up. Is Fury going to stick around to fight Big Baby Anderson when he's ready?
Listen, I mean, you look at Wilder, right? Fake Foreman, as I think of him. Look at how he won his title and who he won it from, and look at how George won his title and who he won it from. Bro, 2 rounds. He made Joe look like, bro, you shouldn't even be in here with this guy. Wilder went 12 with Stavern.
And that was like destruction. It wasn't even a boxing match. It was just pure destruction.
He hit Joe so hard, Joe walked over and fell. Right?
And he lifted him off the mat, put him on his. He fell on.
You can hear Angelo Dundee. Stop it! You can hear him. Could you hear Bermain Stavern's trainer in the? No, he was all right, bro. He getting beat up, but he's okay. He went 12. Like, so can we stop? Fucking ridiculous, bro. Like, no, you not up there with that, bro. And I'm not gonna think of you as being up there with that because you beat Wilder 2 times. Bro, who fucking Wilder beat? Luis Ortiz. Fuck out of here, bro. Motherfuckers is crazy. Anyway, I'm old. I have ranted enough.
He about to go grab some ass.
I'm about to go grab some ass, maybe bust a nut, and go to sleep. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Have a
Night.
good night, Jules.
Nos
Thanks
vemos.
for having me on. Night, fellas.